Test, test, test. Waiting for the stream to turn on. Once I see I'm live, I'll say hello even more, even though I'm pretty sure you guys will see this live. There we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome here back. Loki says hello, although you guys can't see them. He is trying to climb aboard here. Loki, come say hi to everybody. Yeah, you can come up. There you go. He says hello. All right, everybody. Hope you guys all had a fantastic day out there, everybody. Today it was definitely a wild one. And guys, the market is just pricing in something extraordinary here. The market is expecting that we're going to be like either cutting rates or just not having any rate hikes at all right now. The fact that we saw everything kind of booming today, maybe except for Microsoft up there in the corner right there, really suggests that something kind of crazy is going on, okay? Hey, Ken, hey, D's Nuts, and hey, Daily Bread, Leader Cola, GT. Hope you guys are all doing okay. You guys can see Loki one more time. I'll give him a little bit of a treat. Up you go. There you go. Can you guys see him over here? I got my camera kind of close today because I was moving my desk up and down. And there we go. Okay. But definitely, guys, a pretty wild and interesting day out there. Before we get started, excuse me, we do have a new sponsor on the channel. So I do want to thank Chart Prime. Chart Prime has one of those technical indicator overlays that you guys have been watching me do a lot of tutorials on. They have a fantastic one out there. So if you guys have any questions about it or you guys want to test it out, I have a link in the comment section up there if you want to test it out for your free 7-day trial. And if you guys do decide to buy it, you guys will also get a 30% discount off of it. Okay, so give it a shot. Take a look at it. I've been enjoying it quite a bit, and I'll be using it for a couple of my streams here over the next few weeks. Okay, now, as far as the overall market's been concerned, guys, oh my gosh. So you guys know my thoughts on this. We've just had a wild market. We'll go into the technicals here in a few minutes, but just take a look today, everybody, at what's been going on here. And hey, Bideford, welcome back. Jiro Samples, happy to see you back. And hey, Rowan as well. Hope you guys have all been having a good day. I'm feeling kind of refreshed, as you guys have known. For the past week, I have not been able to get to sleep like before 4 a.m. my time, so I've been waking up at 9 o'clock and just having a really miserable time. But I have energy today because guess what? I took sleeping pills. And sleeping pills, I guess a sleeping pill, made me go to sleep around like 10 o'clock last night, and I woke up at 10 o'clock this morning, so I had a full 12 hours of sleep. I went on a walk with Loki. I took Loki outside to go play around. I am feeling great today. So you guys are going to see me have a lot more energy, and I'm hoping that when I go to bed tonight, probably around 10 o'clock, I can also wake up around like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock tomorrow. Although, no, I will not be. I'll be waking up around like 6 o'clock because I will be doing a stream for you guys tomorrow about rate hikes. That's okay. I'm going to go to bed good time the next day as well. But yeah, I have a lot more energy today, and I'm like kind of bustling with it. Yesterday was a long day for me because I told you guys I took my mom out to eat sushi and whatnot. Before we get started anyway on this technical stuff, I do want to show you guys, I showed a picture with you guys yesterday where go to my channel, go to community. Yeah, we got some really weird food over here. We got some like shrimp wrapped in noodles, then deep fried. It was delicious. Delicious, delicious, delicious. So I had a lot of fun out there, and thank you guys for liking this post and giving you guys his comments down below. It was definitely a fun time, and I'm happy my mom was out there. So yeah, good thing. I may be more off and on this weekend. I'm actually probably just going to stream every single day, but my mom does go into heart surgery on Friday, but she goes into the hospital on Thursday. I won't be necessarily, I'll be visiting her a little bit, but I should be able to do my streams overall. But just a little bit of a heads up, you know, I am flying out to Vegas on Sunday, so I do want to make sure she's on the up and up, and I do got family watching over my mom as well. But, you know, surgery on the heart is never a small thing in my opinion, so I'm keeping track of that. For so far this week, everything should go on as normal, but just know in case anything happens as far as maybe my mom is nervous or something like that, I may have to postpone a stream for a night or maybe do a stream early in the morning to kind of make up for it, just so you guys are aware, okay? But I have enough energy this week, so that won't be a problem, okay? Or even do a later night stream here as well. With all the COVID restrictions being taken down in a lot of the hospitals, it's a lot easier for me to go in and out than it was before, where it was only like one person at a time. Usually when that came to be, I just let my sister hang out with my mom because my sister's much more talkative and I'm much more silent and like, let's be on our phones together, mom. Or we make fun of people. I don't know, what do you call it? We make fun of whatever we see on the news. But okay, anyway here, guys. Bitcoin overall is in a very good spot. Now, you know, you can see that we've had a little bit of a steady off point right here. That is very, very true. We don't know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow as far as the rate hikes. Although, if you guys watched my video today, I think what we were hoping for is, honestly, my personal opinion is I think we need a 25 basis point rate hike. Nothing more, nothing less. Just stick with 25 and say, hey, we're going to continue doing 25s until we see that things are working out. We are still looking at the data, but we think that the banks are safe enough right now. Make sure that thing is turned off. Oh, dink-a-dink. There you go. that we think that the rate hikes are moving at an okay pace, and that inflation will continue to come down, and the banks are going to be fine because of all this liquidity that the Fed has injected into the markets. As well as that, you guys know that today we also had Credit Suisse, get bought. And so that should be a good thing for the market as well. Things should be calming down in theory. And I think that leads me to believe that Jerome Powell is going to have to do a 25 basis point rate hike. Now, if he does a full-on pause, I honestly think something is much worse than we are actually being aware of. So like we're aware of. So if he says, hey, we're going to pause, that leads me to believe the banking crisis is a lot worse than I am perceiving it to be. And I'm conceiving it to be important, but not like so important that we need to stop hiking rates, right? So if that does occur, I'll be kind of freaking out tomorrow because the overall market should boost up quite a bit before probably a worsening of an economic cycle happens later on this year. Because again, inflation is eventually going to have to go back up if he starts doing this and starts like backpedaling off of all the aggressive hawkish Fed talk, as I guess he's been doing, besides the January dovish talk that really sent us into a frenzy. But I watched a lot of CNBC news today, a lot of Bloomberg news today, and a lot of Fox Business news today. And all of them, well, maybe Fox Business was a little bit different than the other two, but CNBC and Bloomberg had this very similar type of talk where they said, well, if he stops raising rates, the market should go up and do very well and should boom, right? I think Fox had that general tone as well, but I think they all kind of thought about it in different ways. So the CNBC and Bloomberg way was markets, the dollar will get weaker, therefore the market will go up. And I think Fox even had a little bit of that similar messaging. But to me, I think where Fox was kind of differentiating a little bit today was this fact. And it's going to be weird for me to articulate it in this way. Even if he tries to say we're stopping, right? We're stopping, and I think you might have seen this through CNBC too. Even if we're stopping with the rate hikes, the market's not going to buy that it's a temporary stop. They're going to think of this as the final rate hike for the year, and therefore the market will start going up. There's even an opportunity here, and I mean, I would say honestly a 20% chance, which is pretty big in my chance book. There's a chance that we could even see something like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which if we go over here to the weekly chart, let me hop out of this one, the weekly chart right there. Let's get rid of all the signals on here. There's a chance that we could have the Dow Jones go to all-time highs here over the next few months if rate hikes stop, okay? That's what's crazy because the overall economy isn't in a recession just yet. The economy is pretty shitty for everyday Americans, everyday folks, but you can't see that so much in the data just yet. And that's what's really concerning to me because, again, we look over here. We've had a pretty decent week so far. You guys can't really see it too much. I know I'm zoomed out a little bit too much, but here we go. We are currently 14.5% away from all-time highs. Okay, it is 100% a possibility that we jump another 15% after having rates be low or rate stop, and possibly even a rate cut here if banks start to freak out even more. Okay, so it's just going to be a wild time here over the next few months, everybody. I did not foresee this banking crisis happen at all. I'm not really a bank connoisseur, so I don't really understand everything that goes on in their financial statements. Whereas a Tesla financial statements are pretty easy to read, or an Apple. Banks own too much stuff. Banks lend out too much stuff for me to be able to comprehend it fully. That's why I'm kind of like, I hope we do have a 25 basis point rate hike tomorrow. So I feel a little bit better about, hey, please, oh, please let it not be so bad that I need to be freaking out, okay? Now, as far as the NASDAQ and stuff, look at this. Guess what's ready to break out tomorrow if we don't have a rate hike? The NASDAQ. And again, this is a really good sign for all of you guys that want the market to go up. And I'm not saying I don't want the market to go up, but I'd really want Bitcoin to go down a little bit lower, a lot of stocks to go down a little bit lower, so I can actually buy even more up for this rally, for like the long-term rally here, because I still have a lot of cash on the sidelines that I did not deploy. And I really still, at like my core, don't feel like I want to be buying up loads right now. But if I see a week-long trade I can do off of a breakout from the NASDAQ, I'm going to have to take it here, because if you guys look at the NASDAQ, look at this weekly chart. We just had a golden cross between the 20 and the 50. I don't really care about the 20 too much. It's usually the 50 and the 200, the big boys when we look at the historical context of, right? Big boys over here. Actually, you can see the 20 actually was over here, but this one moved so fast because the market was pretty much crashing, right? There we go. This one right here. This is where those big boys start to happen. But I guess even here, all right, this one, see, the 20, by the time the 20 happens, it's actually rebounding. But the 50 usually leads us to a nicer, longer term move here. That's what I'm looking at as far as the NASDAQ. But in the short term here, these golden crosses, they do matter. 2050 cross, 2200 still ended up moving up strong. Even going back over here, again, we're on the verge of a breakout, having a, so to speak, right? So I'm watching this closely, but we're primed for a breakout, everybody. We're primed. We're primed and ready to go. We'll see. We just had a golden cross here. We've been talking about this since last week. We're primed and ready to go. Where things maybe get a little bit more messy, I would say, is probably the SPY and the Dow Jones, but the NASDAQ really controls Bitcoin's fate here. But even the SPY, look at this. SPY's having that golden cross right here. We did not drop down below the 200 weekly moving average as far as that 20 moving average is concerned right there. But of course, the 50 is still screaming down here where we're eventually going to have another death cross here between the 20 and the 50. The 50 and the 200, excuse me, guys. So I'm watching this closely. We're not nearly as close to a breakout here, regardless of which type of technicals you're looking at. You guys can see there's a lot of stuff going on over here. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff you could use for the SPY at this point, right? But I think the majority of you guys might have something that looks kind of like this. Something simple, not too crazy. You know, we broke out of this other one a while ago. We broke back down below it, and now we're just kind of hovering here. But I'd be watching this one pretty closely. So if we start coming back up here, I might try to short some stuff. But NASDAQ looks ready to blow. At least the SPY may be making a move back up. I think the SPY may actually outperform the NASDAQ over the next 2 weeks, just because we're going to have to break out above both these moving averages. That's not going to be a small feat. You can see how much force it took to break down below both of them right here. See, we tried to break up this time. Boom, boom. When we're dealing with both of these moving averages, we're usually not in a good spot, right? This one wasn't too bad. Oh, we just kind of had some oh, this is weekly. Yeah, so we had some pretty bad weekly drops here. Nice booms up there. Not too bad, not too bad. Oh, we just gapped. That's what it was. Okay, but still, we usually have some pretty big volatility during these times. So if you guys like to day trade, this week and next week are going to be your times to shine, okay? Time to shine. Now, getting back over here to Bitcoin, we've actually managed to close above the 200 here, which I really like. We're looking for a golden cross, just like the NASDAQ here in this SPY, between the 20 and the 50. This would suggest that we're looking at a pretty good move. If we're not looking at the economy, guys, and just put the economy to the side. If we're not looking at the economy, when we look at these, I should probably put this one up here. Let's turn the market oracle off. Let's go over here to Bitcoin, Coinbase. Okay, weekly. When we look at this from a historical pattern, when we cross the 20 over the 50, that's usually a pretty solid move. 20 over the 50, good times. You know, and meanwhile, the 50 below the 20 below the 50 is obviously the bad move here. But again, historically, when we have that crossover, it's gung ho, time to go. And so, you know, gung ho, time to go. You know, so this economy is really going to put a strain on all the technicals that we've all kind of learned together, or just the technicals that we've been talking about, because the fundamentals of the economy are not looking primarily that strong. They're not terrible just yet, but you can see that they're weakening month to month to month. They're not good. So what keeps us at these levels is pretty much people fearing that we're going to have a rally, and they don't want to miss out. And that's what you're seeing a lot of happen right now. Whales kind of pushing us up a bit more, but you know, us also just having a lot of hope that if Jerome Powell cuts rates, inflation will go up. Sure, inflation won't be getting much better. However, the economy will have more liquidity, and that liquidity can also be used to buy many more assets. So you're probably going to see, I mean, we already see a disparity between the way average Americans are doing in the overall stock market. However, you're going to see that play out to an extreme that I don't think we've seen in decades, where you see the stock market really going up a lot and a lot and a lot, like we've had over the past few years. And everyday Americans like having trouble finding an apartment, having trouble buying a house, that type of stuff, okay? Now, honestly, I think this type of event would be something more of the cherry on top of, you know, the market kind of leaving the rest of the average day Americans behind. But, you know, I'm still curious to see how this is going to play out. In my head, I'm looking at a potential shoulder and maybe a head and another shoulder over here. But, you know, that's all a guess until it plays out down the road, okay? Now, on the daily charts here, we all know we had the banking crisis and whatnot. But, I mean, why not just do the technicals here on the weekly? And now you kind of have this zone right here between $28,000 or so, $27,864, and about $32,000. For me, honestly, guys, I'm still looking at the GAN boxes that I was showing you guys over here last week. Let's go to there. There we go. Let's go to daily, I guess. All right. Some hiccups over here, some hiccups over here, now kind of resting at that support level around 27,705. I honestly think we could have if we have no cuts tomorrow and or a cut. I don't think we're going to have a cut, but if we did, I think within the next few days, Bitcoin surging all the way up here to at least 30,400. And after that, at the highest points, maybe 31,337 for a pretty sizable move. If I'm buying right now, I'm trying to buy for that. And my stop loss is probably just going to be down here towards 26,676. That's a pretty sizable stop loss there. That's kind of around like 4 or 5.5%. I would take that level just as extra security. But on the 4-hour chart here, that 20 is still grinding. We got back to it. It caught back up. You saw how we were talking about it over here. Things were looking okay. Oops, something popped up here that I don't want it to pop up. There we go. But yeah, so we're still riding this. As soon as we start breaking down from this 20 moving average on the 4-hour chart, guys, I get a lot more bearish in a short amount of time. But the last time, guess what? We rode it up here. I wasn't expecting us to ride this up, guys. The banking crisis, I was much more bearish. And I guess the stock market did what I wanted to, kind of went more sideways, kind of bounced around a little bit, but overall sideways. Bitcoin was like, oh no, the banking crisis is happening. Let me pour my money into Bitcoin. I think you probably saw a whole bunch of new Bitcoin owners over the past week too, just because of how crazy everything got. But regardless, guys, I am still watching this 20 moving average primarily on the 4-hour chart. If we get really close to this, this is usually a good buying opportunity for most of you guys. Maybe if I can go over here to the 15-minute chart and I were to go over here and let's go over to the 4-hour. Let's turn gaps back on. All right. When we get kind of close to this, that's what you're looking for. And even on this 15-minute chart, which I'll put up on the main Bitcoin chart here, you guys can see we're having a little bit of resistance. And on the shorter term here, you guys may be looking at this little bit of a flag forming up here for a nice move. I was hoping we could try to stay pretty strong, and we kind of have so far. But get ready for some volatility, I would say, over the next 2 hours or so. I would love to see some big moves happening with Bitcoin. Now, as far as Ethereum is concerned, everybody, there has been some weird changes here. Let's go back over to the daily chart to start things off with. Oh, I forgot I turned everything off last time, didn't I? Okay, hold on. Let me do this. Moving average there. Let's move that over to the day chart. There we go. Perfect. There we go. And this was the old channel that we were looking at. I think it bounced around here. Yeah, okay, there you go. And we had this one right up there, okay? So for the longest, we'd actually been in this channel for a while, trying to hover around. Within a few days, or let's just say within a week, we managed to break down and then also get back up here, which is absolutely insane. So we're testing both of the extremes right now, both having a breakdown, reversal, then a breakout, and almost a reversal, but we haven't finished it off just yet. So what I'm going to do is take off this bottom level for now, go over here to the 4-hour chart so you guys can check something out. Looks pretty darn similar to Bitcoin, right? We can move this level of resistance, maybe just a little bit up here towards 1825 as far as Ethereum is concerned. But both times, while Bitcoin's managed to hold that 20 moving average on that 4-hour chart, so I'm probably covering my voice up right now. Ethereum has broken down both times. So I think if Bitcoin does fall down, I think you're going to see a great shorting opportunity for Ethereum where it breaks down below the support level here of around 1719. And then we're heading all the way back down here to maybe 1650 to 1630 or so, maybe just tapping on the 200. But historically, this 200 here on the 4-hour, it's not like it's some really big level of resistance and support. You guys can see right here. We kind of just go through it, maybe a little bit of a pause, but I haven't seen too much there that would make me think that, wow, this is going to stop us from falling down. Not historically when it comes to the 200 on the 4-hour chart for Ethereum only, okay? Now, but if we do have that bad number rate hike tomorrow or something that's unexpected or there's some hawkishness from the Fed as we kind of go over and watch this this meeting tomorrow, I do suspect that Ethereum will most likely be coming back down just at the least 1660, probably coming back down here to 1620. That'd be a drop of about 7% for one bad day of Ethereum. I think that's pretty likely. Again, and if we do manage to have a pretty good boom or maybe a rate cut or no more rate hikes tomorrow, then I would suspect that we're probably coming up at least to 1822 for a 4% rise, if not going all the way up here to 1880, then 2000 by the end of the week. This will be a pretty seismic boom, everybody. Tomorrow's just a really crucial day. I don't know how to explain it anywhere else. No matter what assets you guys are looking at, it's a huge, huge day to be out there. Even going over here to the weekly charts for Ethereum, you can see we're about to have a death cross between the 50 week and the 200 week. but the 20-week, the 50-week, and the 200 weekly moving averages. But we're also about to have a golden cross between the 20-week moving average here and the 50-week moving average. We're seeing so many different signals here that it's going to be fun to trade, but it's going to be very hard to navigate all this. So at this point, I'm doing what I've always been doing. I'm doing my dollar cost averaging, although I've been doing a lot less of it as of late. I want to stress that because I'm still a proponent of bearishness on this channel, at least me, right? But I still want to have more exposure to the market. And even though I'm buying at these crazy prices, in my opinion, it's still a good hedge in case I'm totally wrong and the market decides to take off to Ethereum to $5,000 in the next year or something. I don't think it's going to happen, but you guys get my point, okay? Now, as far as everything else, I do think we should talk about the dollar index because whereas we were kind of bullish going into it the last few weeks with this banking crisis, look at before the banking crisis, after the banking crisis, we were about to break out above the 50-week and the 20-week moving average, and start soaring back up here to about, $107. Now we're back at $103.32, and this is perfect if you guys want to see the market go up. And I don't know why I'm so bearish nowadays that my perception is mired and bearish just as far as what makes me happy. So I think if we want to see the market go up, you guys want to see the market go up, you guys are liking this setup right now. My mind has totally been flipped because I'm in a bearish mindset right now, everybody, so I apologize for that. But you can see that dollar index on the weekly chart ever since the banking crisis, down and down and down and down, okay? So let's go over here to the daily chart. Broke down below that 50-day moving average. You can see all the volatility in between the 20 and the 50s here. 200 is way, way above us, and we've already had those death crosses a while ago. So what are we looking at here? We had an old level of support right there. We tried to hold that as well with the 50, but we've already broken down. So at this point, guys, I'd probably even say, pull this down right here. We're trying to have a somewhat of a smaller bounce. Maybe if I can actually do this as well here. There we go. Yeah, drop it down just a tad, and that's what it does. Put the fibs on there. We're trying to stop right here at 103.33. It all depends on what happens to the rate hikes. If you guys see the rate hikes tomorrow, the dollar will probably hit $104 or $103.92. If we don't have a rate hike, probably coming back down here towards 102-ish range, maybe kind of midway, but it should be a pretty big day no matter what. You guys can see the volatility in these candles over the past few days. Instead of some of this stuff where we're kind of more choppy and sideways, this stuff is moving. People are making very broad guesses right now and hedging their bets. And that's all you can do right now if you guys want to be somewhere in this market, right? Maybe if I go over here to the weekly chart, I'll put on the smart concepts. Let's see. Yeah, you guys even saw this. We had a change of character right here on the upward side. Now, it failed because of a huge fundamental disaster known as a banking crisis, but you could see that we had a change of character. We were gearing up for a stronger move. If we put this on the weekly chart here, I don't know if we probably don't have any bullish signals here in the short term. We didn't close above this right here. I don't think so, no. You have some resistance out there. We have support for the dollar kind of around 97 bucks, if you will. If we're at $103, if we're at 97 bucks, that means something is going great with Bitcoin. Something is going fantastic with the overall market. Let me hop on over here and see if there's anything else. No, nothing too far there. That's kind of a support resistance 103. That's kind of where we're hovering right now. And anything else kind of a support. This one would suggest that we're coming back down to 98 if we are going to be fighting back down here. So yeah, if he stops hiking rates tomorrow, guys, Jerome Powell is going to unleash a very bullish market for at least for the next month or two here, unless we see some type of disaster happening again with banks. That could freak people out even more. But you guys know this. Fear hasn't necessarily been a bad thing in this market. Good news has been bad news. Bad news has been good news because it's all been in this new, this perceived way of thinking. Like, how is this going to change Jerome Powell's view on fighting inflation? And if he's going to give up on fighting inflation, I'm saying give up, but he's going to take a pause, as he put it. To me, it's giving up on fighting inflation because inflation will get worse because of this move if he doesn't cut rates, if he doesn't hike rates, excuse me. But, everything's been in that perceived view, or that there's a word for it. I'm totally forgetting it. My apologies, guys. But that world of how does this affect what Jerome Powell is going to do? If good news starts becoming good news again, that means the market should continue to go up because he's no longer caring about cooling the economy off. And, we'll have to fight higher inflation down the road. But in the meantime, you guys know this, the market likes to be ignorant. We like to make as much money as possible. That's why everybody's kind of buying up Bitcoin. Everybody's buying up Ethereum, the NASDAQ, Apple, Tesla. Everybody's buying it up. you don't want to get left behind. So you're probably going to see a lot of FOMO be unleashed. And if you guys are new, FOMO means fear of missing out. But yeah, guys, we'll keep a close eye on it. You can even see the Bitcoin on the weekly. Again, that 20 to 50 here, that 20 to 50, it's looking pretty good. Although this death cross right here, I mean, we played it out. It doesn't look too, played out a little bit, but this still bodes to me that something bad is going to happen. So I'm going to stick with that for the short term, regardless if we've never actually seen either of these things actually happen before, right? So one other thing here, I wanted to do this just for fun. You guys can see how far we've come from a lot of these different coins out here. Now, if you guys did some dollar cost averaging, you guys are perfectly happy. If you guys didn't catch every bottom, you guys are probably a little bit madder at yourself. But I think in retrospect, this, now that we kind of have a few months of, work behind us, you guys can see that when you guys took opportunities down here or over here, in hindsight, you guys had a good opportunity to buy some Matic up. Regardless, even if you guys didn't buy down here, maybe you guys bought at 61 cents, 87 cents, you guys are still looking relatively well. And you even had a golden cross here between Matic and, the 20 and the 50 week moving averages here. Go over here to Dogecoin. Retrospect, not as good as Matic, I would say, because we had that big boom when Elon Musk was buying Twitter, of course. But still, coming over here to where we are now from those lows, you're still at 45%, which is pretty darn good, okay? And again, we all kind of stopped in these one little zones that we had before. XRP over here, XRP is a little bit different because they had court proceedings, but again, we kind of stopped in these kind of hiccup zones right here. So for a lot of these coins, I would say some look more bullish than others. Matic definitely looks a lot more bullish than a Dogecoin or an XRP right now. But you guys can see, we're still doing okay if you guys bought, excuse me, guys, at some of these lows we saw a while ago. XRP is probably not the best choice here. But again, look at, you can even see Link right here. Link is kind of matching up with that. This is Link on Bitfinex, so it probably doesn't go back far enough, but still, not bad. You really have to time this stuff with Bitcoin, don't you? That's kind of the sucky part about crypto. I'm really hoping that one day, guys, that we can see Bitcoin kind of go in a different direction than Dogecoin, then different direction of Matic, and then XRP and STMX and Sheeb. I'd like to see them doing different things based off of how their individual teams are working and how their individual teams are bringing in revenue. I'd like to be able to trade off of that, but we're still new into crypto, so anything you buy technically at these levels is bound to go up down the road as long as there's a solid company behind it. Now, STMX, this is one of those things that had a really big boom. It fell down below that last one. I think this is just because it's a lower market cap coin. I've been dollar cost averaging this thing for a long, long time, especially because I was doing a lot of fun day trades with it when it had these massive 100%, 200% spikes on it. But this is a low market cap coin. This is probably not something that most of you guys are going to be investing large sums of money into. A few $100, $500, $1,000, something like that, right? Sheeb, on the other hand, just like Dogecoin, not looking as bright, but still looking okay. To me, this really, I'm just kind of afraid of it breaking down below the 20-week moving average right here. Usually, I mean, the past like few months or quarters, when you break down below this, it's usually just not a very fun experience for us. So I'm hoping with that, if we do have a rate cut tomorrow, or maybe no rate hike at all, maybe we can actually just try to break out or bounce back up to this 50-week moving average. That'd be kind of nice. A couple other ones here, Litecoin having a really nice robust move, of course, breaking down over the past few weeks. Now we're in another consolidation phase after that breakdown, but let's go over here very fast. Pop that. Maybe I can do this right here, get some order blocks in there. Well, we're at least hopping back into an order block, but if you guys like order blocks, I guess they're probably where to kind of hit that halfway point for you guys. But I'm taking this bit by bit, everybody. I myself am still dollar cost averaging, but am I trying to put all of my cash reserves that I've been holding for cheaper Bitcoin prices into the market right now? Frankly, I'm just not. Dollar cost averaging to me still seems to be the safest way for me to invest my own money. And, I'm a little bit emotional right now because of all this roller coaster of banking stuff that's been going on. But I don't want those emotions to make me to spend a whole bunch of money down the road. Oh, sorry, you guys might have thought I just farted off of hearing that sound, but it's just my seat thing. Sorry. But what do you call them? I'm still kind of in this holding pattern where I wait and see. If it really does come down to the fate where we're not going to see that the economy is not going to go into recession, the banks are perfectly fine, inflation is going to continue to come down drastically. I would say we want to see inflation come down a lot by summer. I would say that's the way the market's kind of pricing everything in, and maybe we're done at the bottom. But for me right now, I just don't see the economy getting itself out of this because everything is still too goddamn expensive. And as long as that's the case, I think you're going to see more and more bad things. You guys remember it was a year ago now. It was a little less than a year, like last summer. No, a year ago. Yeah, it was right as inflation was being labeled transitory by the government. I told you guys, frankly, that a lot of bad stuff was probably going to have to happen before things got better. And one of those things I told you guys about was how food crises around the world and just bad economics or bad economic situations can lead to governments being under much more stress, people being much more angry, a lot more protests in the streets, excuse me. And I think you're starting to see a part of that, but I don't think it's gotten to that really bad level. It maybe unless you look at France, like Paris has been like, I'm just watching TikTok after TikTok of trash in France because Macron did something like that was very undemocratic, I would assume. Like I kind of understand it, but I don't. Like he passed legislation without having a vote from the parliament or something. I'm not a French political expert, but he didn't do it without a vote. He had to use like old arcane rule, which is kind of crazy that they even have the rule, but still. But so you're seeing like strikes in England, France. You're seeing protests. I think riots in France at this point. I don't think there's riots in England, but I think there's still plenty of protest out here in America. I think we're pretty much. Are we protesting stuff? We protest a lot of stuff, but I don't think we protest the right stuff. I think we're doing okay as far as our economy for now. People are suffering, but people aren't suffering to the degree that makes them very angry. That's when I'm usually looking at more of like, okay, we've kind of hit the bottom here of the market. I don't think that we've actually hit that point, everybody. If you guys think we have, let me know. But I just haven't felt like we've actually hit that point where Americans are truly fed up. I know there's a chance that Trump is arrested tomorrow. That could get people riled up, but I don't really see that as being part of an economic talk, although maybe conservatives think he's like fighting for their economic freedom, or you get what I'm saying there, right? But I wouldn't put that into the same category as, everybody's suffering and everybody protesting against the government because the government has been doing a very bad job of fighting inflation. The Fed has been doing a very bad job of fighting inflation. And this, guys, they're trying to do the right thing now. But what really broke the camel's back, so to speak, is they kind of went around for like 4 to 5 months saying that inflation was transitory. And because it was transitory, they could therefore keep pumping money into the economy. And therefore, it was going to go away. They didn't have to do anything about it. It was only when they realized that everything was getting kind of out of control that they finally started to fix inflation. But they flat out just told everybody, hey, it's not a big deal. It's transitory. Hold on. I'll try to find something for you guys very fast right here. I think it'll be kind of educational and funny. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I can't find the video. Never mind. I'm not going to go searching through YouTube. But you guys remember, they said it was transitory. And we all knew inflation is not transitory. To this day, it's still at 6%. People are going to say to you that 6% inflation is good. It is not. It is not. They can try to compare it to the high inflation of like 9% or 8.9%, whatever. It's still not good, okay? So let me know if you guys have any questions. The overall market is still okay for today. I would say that Bitcoin is in pretty much a holding pattern and just waiting to see what happens. But we've done all the hard work for this week as far as breaking above the 50 and the 200. Now for this next week, we have to try to push for the heavens, which the heavens to me are kind of at the high point around $32,000, a minimum of around like 30,000 or so, a lower 30,000 or so. That's what we're looking for. Excuse me. And, as far as everything else is concerned, we really don't have much resistance for us. Maybe a little bit of that, but I mean, we already broke out above that, guys. If I turn log off, we've clearly broken above that, and now we're holding it. So, choose your charts wisely, but we're not in a bad spot. The only thing that could really kill this rally now is some type of crazy news coming out of the Fed, or some type of news that like another European bank is going down, or some nuke being launched at Ukraine. It's going to take a lot to stop this market right now, and it's really going to come over the next 48 hours if there is an attempt, based off of any news that we're going to be getting tomorrow with the rate hikes. Today's Monday, isn't it? Rate hikes are probably Wednesday, I think. Geez, I might be just off today, guys. Sorry. But yeah, whenever the rate hikes do come across. That's right here. Buy more eggs. I would love to buy more eggs. I buy eggs through Instacart. I try to find the cheap. Oh, actually, I get those really expensive, like $7 for 12 things. I'm like paying like $2 an egg or something like that. But they're good eggs. They're good eggs. And hey, Danny, man, hope you're doing well. I thought the meeting was on Wednesday. You're right, it is on Wednesday. I've just been talking like a freaking butthole for the whole time here. But yeah, sorry guys, I've been on a whole bunch of stuff this week. Doing a whole bunch of work here. Remember that trip on Vegas and doing my mom's heart surgery stuff. It's been a lot of stuff. But yes, it is on Wednesday. Bitcoin is going to increase gradually when the fiat going to the door. I mean, the government should just buy Bitcoin already. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the government already owns some Bitcoin, but I would assume it's for some type of manipulation purposes and not so much as trying to make money off of it, right? Let's put this down here right now. There we go. I'm pretty sure the government, to a certain degree, actually already owns Bitcoin. I don't know how they own it or how many wallets, but I would have to assume at this point they actually own some Bitcoin, just so down the road they can say we have, we have exposure to the market or something. Who knows? But like Fidelity, they're getting into Bitcoin. Like here, let me show you something here. Let me see if Fidelity actually bought Bitcoin. You could say we're curious, we're crypto curious early on. In 2014, Fidelity began mining crypto. By 2018, we launched our first crypto service, Fidelity Digital Assets, and an institutional custody and trading platform for our digital assets. As crypto evolves, we're committing to unlocking new investment opportunities for our clients. They have Bitcoin, right? And Fidelity isn't some small institution, right? So they have a lot of money in there, and they're willing to do it. But they've probably done it the most regulatory friendly way. So the government doesn't hound them for it. And you know what? I think that's perfectly fine. You see a lot of exchanges out there that don't allow you to do all the fun stuff like trade futures or copy trade or bot trade or get returns for letting the exchange borrow your crypto. They're not nearly as used as much because you're not going to be looking to make as much money because you know how much money it takes to spot trade Bitcoin or spot trade Ethereum. It takes a lot of money to be able to make consistent profits off of it. And that's why it gets a little bit harder. But I mean, as they slowly grow and start putting out more opportunities, I think they'll probably get more users, especially if the government decides to go after Binance. And I do think eventually we are going to see a showdown between Binance and the US regulatory system. I don't know exactly how that ends. I would assume Binance gets kicked out of America permanently, but I would have to hope that CZ could try to work something out with them. But there's going to have to be a lot of changes before that happens. A lot of changes, in my opinion, because there just seems to be so much tension right now. And I don't know how, I think that the face of that tension really happens to be CZ. Because if you guys remember, CZ was getting bambasted by the media, by politicians, Kevin O'Leary. When the Sam Bankman-Fried thing went down and FTX fell like off of a cliff, they were all blaming CZ for some reason, like he had a big part in it. He was just saying, no, we didn't like these assets, so we sold them off. And you can say he did it at a bad time. Was there ever a good time at the end of last year to sell off assets without affecting the prices of anything? No. And then, of course, CZ didn't know that FTX was doing fraud. At least I don't think he did. So, again, them going after him and Kevin O'Leary going in front of the White House, the Senate committee, financial committee, I think it was. To me, that just makes me think that, the government wants to make an example out of him while also just understanding that, like, FTX, like, it's politics. It's politics 101, kind of, there's too many ties to freaking Sam Bankman-Fried. However, I think his next court hearing where the trial begins is still in October. So when October rolls around, you guys know that I'll be pumping out Sam Bankman-Fried testimony every single day. I'm probably going to try to hire somebody to do every time he says something that's like, clip worthy, I will have somebody watching it with me. He will record that part and post it online to my YouTube channel for me. And that way you guys could be up to date on everything going on. I think that's going to be a great thing for you guys to check out as well. But again, this is all the way in October, but I already have a plan for it. But I'm going to hire somebody to help me do that because it is going to be a little bit of work. They're going to have to be looking at the trial, then also at the same time clipping stuff off, editing it, and the boring side of stuff. So they won't get to enjoy the trial like all of us will be able to enjoy the trial. And hey, Moonshadow, happy to see you back. Hope you're doing very, very well. Same with Fat Buddha. Isn't Trump getting arrested tomorrow? Yes, it is. Or he could be. I think he is. I don't know if they're going to make it into I don't know if they're going to make Trump's hearing tomorrow, or arrest tomorrow, into like more of a, what do you call that? A show trial, or like a media circus, I would put it the words in as. If anything, I think they would do it quietly, do it with respect, and just get him to New York, do the full arraignment. I don't think he would spend a single second in a jail cell. But then he'd be allowed to return home, or probably to his Trump penthouse or something, until his trial begins. But from what I understand, this is about a hush payment to Stormy Daniels, who's a porn star, and I guess he paid her off before the 2016 presidential election, so he didn't have to worry about her coming forward and, you know, spilling the details of their sexual encounter, right? So, and I think that I think that breaks some type of minor law, because he was running as a president, so it's kind of like hushing up a payment while you're running for office. I think that's what the law that he broke might have been. If he did do it, we'll have to wait and see, of course. Always innocent until proven guilty in America, kind of. But to me, that doesn't seem like such a big thing. You know, call me a cynic, but I feel like every president does illegal stuff. And like if Trump broke the law, good, prosecute him, make him pay his fine, because I don't think I don't think you go to jail for something like that. I think it's just a fine or something. But like, I would like to see more politicians be held accountable from the governmental institutions of law, the judicial system, right? Whatever you want to call it, if they break the law. Because I feel like Trump broke the law, Obama broke the law, Biden's breaking the law right now, or broke the law, whatever you want to call it. And you have, you know, Bush, and it kind of keeps going. I feel like there's not a president, at least in my living memory, since I'm 28. I feel like there hasn't been a president in my living memory that hasn't broken the law that deserves to be prosecuted for something. But I feel like they've always been given this free pass because they're freaking presidents or they're high up politicians. And I don't think they get targeted all too much. Now, you guys may agree with that, or you guys may think that every like, you know, Bush, Obama, Clinton, Joe Biden, and Trump are all clean as a whistle. I'm just kind of a cynic when it comes to that type of stuff. So I'm just like, yeah, I think they probably all did some shady stuff in office. But, you know, I usually don't care about it too much, at least from my point of view, because if my day-to-day life is fine and I'm happy, you know, and I'm making money, I usually don't care, to be frank, because there's what can I do, myself do to fix the corruption going on in Washington, D.C. That's literally the whole country away. So, you know, when it comes to Trump, we'll see where it goes. But I mean, this is just opening the can of worms, and like this could lead to full-out mass riots. This could lead to people getting killed because people are going to feel like their representative Donald Trump is being held to a different set of standards than all the other politicians. That's kind of one of I saw about different politicians do different things, but they're all kind of breaking the laws, different laws. I think Joe Biden right now his family has been known to take money from the Chinese corporations. Dear freaking Lord, that's not a good thing, right? So, you know, Trump said bad stuff. Joe Biden said bad stuff. Obama bombed tons of kids in the Middle East. Just because they're brown and on the other side of the world doesn't mean they're not kids, right? They're not like innocent children. So, you know, we don't really have the best pass with our presidents, but I think the fact that we get to protest against them makes us feel good, right? So if you didn't like Trump, you could say, I don't like Trump, so therefore all the bad stuff he did, I don't, you know, it wasn't my fault. I'm on the good side of America. Whereas if you're like, you know, a Trump supporter, you may see that, hey, Obama killed all those kids in the Middle East, but but it wasn't my fault as an American because I didn't vote for him. It's that type of parallel that both parties, both people can get away with, or both sides can get away with. It kind of just lets us be America. I think South Park even made an episode on this, actually. We can do really bad stuff, but then protest against it. And therefore, overall, we're not really that bad. But I mean, you know what? Most of the time, these people do it for a national interest. And so we kind of don't want to see the nasty stuff that's being done in America's name, so to speak. But as long as they let crypto thrive, who cares? I'll be in Nicaragua. I don't really have to care about that type of shit, right? But, you know, there's definitely an ugly side to the world. Just don't look at it. It can be pretty darn dark. What's it here? And hey, Kevin, are you trading on Fairdesk? I am trying the simulated trading there. Yes, I got an account there. They just approved my copy trading account this week. literally this morning. So I'm going to start setting stuff up there. I put 5,000 bucks into the account. Sorry, Loki's over here trying to get some attention. And I'm going to set up the account, and then when the next time I get a clear signal, I'm going to start doing some shorts on it. I would say wait a week. Like, you can put money into it if you want to practice simulated trading, but I would say, like, give me a couple days to try out the strategy on this one to see how it reacts to it, because I want to make sure I understand how many fees are going to be processed. That way I can kind of tell you guys about it more and more. But yeah, a lot of you guys have signed up for it already. I think like over 100 of you guys have deposited money into the accounts, which is freaking fantastic. So I appreciate you guys a lot. And so when I get started with that process, I'll let you guys know. But my account and everything has already been set up. And now I just have to finalize the copy trading part of it, which I'm working on with my my contact there. And then I just started trading. A recap there, I do have the link down below if you guys want to follow me on copy trading, but I will not be going higher than a 5x leverage. If I can, I might ask them if I can make a higher level account, a whole like second account where there'd be a whole nother copy trading profile of me. And what I might actually do for that one, Kevin, is I might have that one be more of a 15x leverage max one, where we do similar types of trades, but at 15x leverage. So what I might envision there is people are making 5x returns, or they're making good returns with a 5x account, and they want to follow the same thing with a 15x leverage account. They can do that as well. So I'm hoping that could work out there. And I'm pretty sure there's a way to adjust it within the copy trading. So like, if I did have a 15x account, you guys could have a maximum leverage for following me at 5x leverage, right? So you guys would actually be watching my 15x leverage play, but only be earning 5x leverage. They might have that as well, but I'd like it to be so, people can have a 5x account, a 15x leverage account, but I'd have to work that out with them. But in order for them to want to do that, people are going to have to follow me on the copy trading platform and actually start using it. That way I have more leverage to say, hey, these people want this. You guys can make, for them, they'll make more money off of trading fees off of you guys. But I also I want you guys to make money, not just pay fees, right? So that's how I'm going to work it out. But yes, it is up and running. Try the simulated trading. Let me know how you like it. I like just moving stuff around and kind of opening stuff up a little bit here. But primarily, guys, I'm still trading off of TradingView or TD Ameritrade. And then I'm just using that to trade, or for TD Ameritrade, something different for stocks, obviously. But for crypto, I'm still using TradingView because I like my premium indicators, like all the stuff I got, chart prime indicators, etc. And then I'll use those over on the actual Fairdesk charts. And that's the same when it comes to BitGet, Femex, KuCoin, and Binance, Bybit, all of them out there. I primarily like to use TradingView because everything's a little more clear. So if I go over here to Fairdesk, and you go over here to futures, right? Go over here. This says I only have 4. Oh, this is a different wallet. Okay, this is the margin wallet. So I have like $402 in my margin wallet right now. The 5,000 in my other wallet. Actually, let me see. Can I hold on a second here, guys? How does it look? I'll show you guys my wallet, but I just want to make sure it's not like I'm showing you guys any like wallet codes or anything I shouldn't be showing you guys, so somebody can hack my account since I'm technically live. Okay, yeah, so you guys can, yeah. Oh, okay, you guys can't see it all the way. But yeah, it's like my balance right now is $5,000. I've been joined for 1 day. So yeah, net profit 0 because I haven't done any trading yet. So basically, once I start trading, you guys will be able to see the success or lack thereof. Who knows? I'm going to say success, but you guys know. And so, yeah, but it works. This is TradingView's this is TradingView's system. So don't get me wrong. It's good. But like right here, volume, get that out of the way. When you want to add certain things on here, add different indicators and things like that. To me, if they could find one day to add different overlays on here, like I could put like chart prime indicators and stuff like that. I am zooming in a whole bunch right here as well. If they could find a way to do that, I'd be much more inclined to use their own software. But this is TradingView, but it's not allowing me to do everything I want to do on TradingView, right? Maybe I should ask them if there's a way to do that. I mean, I got their contact information. I should probably give it a shot because everything else is pretty much the same, right? Right? Countdown, regular, lock price to bar ratio, auto fits data to screen. Everything is pretty much the same except for the fact that when when I'm adding the indicators, I have these indicators to choose from, which are everyday indicators. They are not the scripted indicators that I'm allowed to get from here. So right here, right, my favorites, but I can go to community scripts, editors picks, trending, right? All these types of things, whether it's somebody from the social crypto something or Sensor or Red K Trader, Kryptonite Night, whatever, you know, I like being able to test that stuff out. And if I'm only allowed to test that stuff out here, you know, that makes me more inclined to just use the trading view charts. And then when I find a trade, I'm over here. I have my long set. I have my leverage set probably over here. You know, let's do a 10x leverage play on Bitcoin buy, and we'll see where it goes, right? Like for now, I don't know, like, what am I doing? I got $400 in this account. What can I do right here? You know, I don't know if it's going to break out here, but if we broke out, I might do a live trade over here and say, hey, let's have some fun here. And let's do, you know, $100 5x leverage trade when Bitcoin breaks out here. And I want to do more of that while on the live stream. Probably when I get back from Vegas, to be frank. But, you know, for today, I could probably do that because I would like to do it also, like, and as an example of maybe a, what would I call that? You know, a change of character play, maybe on a 4-hour or an hour chart, but live with you guys. But, you know, it just takes a while for these trades to kind of pop up, which is always kind of the annoying part here. But even if I just wanted to follow a trend, like, you know, if I wanted to test out a process with you guys and come back, like test it out at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock now, then come back over the next tomorrow night and see how it worked out, I would like to have a trade over there just for a little bit of time to show you guys what's happening. This could be a $10 trade, a $50 trade, whatever. So like I could go over here and I could say, this is a 50-minute chart, but let's go to, let's try the market oracle here very fast. Okay, there. Oh, geez, I just deleted it off, didn't I? Let's move this stuff down here. Let's set this to the day. Let's set this to the week. And let's go to both mode. Let's go to 70. Let's open that up to 40 on the 50-minute chart. So maybe it should be 80-80. Yeah, for now, let's go 80-80. We'll change it to 740 in a second. 80-80. All right, optimization for everything. That's fine. Let's go to all color so you guys can see the difference here. Do we have to have candle pattern? Yeah, we can leave candle patterns on there. And maybe influencer signals, dashboard size. No, we don't need the dashboard. We don't normally need a dashboard on here. Okay. All right. So this is going to seem a little bit cluttered right now because it's on the 50-minute chart. I apologize for that. But, you know, let's say, though, this isn't fully priced in for this one, but let's just say we wanted to test out the trends and actually have real money examples so you guys could see if you guys followed every single trend, what would it be where you guys hit your support level or your resistance level, yada, 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 okay? So in this circumstance, let me get rid of this little pattern that we have up here. You've had a downtrend right here. We don't know how this is going to end, so we're going to wait off a couple seconds. You have an uptrend right here that worked out for a little bit, but ultimately came back down and went up a little bit higher, so that one technically would have worked. But if you guys are buying right there, I would suspect your support or your stop loss would be actually well below this here. And so that's what you guys are looking for. You guys aren't normally going to be using this indicator primarily in a sideways market, to be frank. But when you see like kind of wild stuff like this, of course, this is a lot more easier. So you short right here, you probably would put your resistance level back up here. I didn't hit it, so you would have been able to make some good money off of that one. On this one, okay, it made you get some good money fast. This is what you guys have to try out. But you guys have to understand the strategy that you guys are trying to implement. I don't necessarily use indicators, and you guys have probably heard me talk about this over the past few weeks. I don't necessarily use a lot of these indicators that I get for sideways trading. I think sideways trading is something that's just a little bit too boring for me. And when sideways trading happens, people aren't usually trading for the specific patterns that we're all looking for. When you guys see a head and shoulders or your traditional breakout patterns, whatever it may be, double top, double bottom, whatever, you know, everybody and their mom can see that pattern happening. So everybody at that point of breakout is all looking to go whoosh, let's go. But if we're in kind of some sideways choppy market where we're having mild breakdowns and stuff, the moves aren't nearly as dramatic. So you can see right here on this 15-minute chart, we have some support levels kind of right here. So support, my head's blocking it, support, 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 support. And we finally broke down here off of this downtrend. And what happened? We still didn't really go that far. Why? Because we still had the 20 and the 50 above the 200 here, not showing the overall drop off. And then at the same time, excuse me, if we back up just a little bit, we were also getting closer to this support level right there, okay? So you want to see all those crossovers happening before. You guys have to figure out your own strategy for it, but you guys can't be blindly following these, which is why I really haven't done it before. But I'm always wondering if I could set one of these things up to just be like something on a 4-hour chart or something similar, where it'd be that much easier to actually make those trades, right? So these are just showing you possible reversals, like reversal. I don't actually use those for buying. I use those for scaling out, which I totally recommend. Scaling out is always something very, very nice to do. But if I were to get rid of those, well, let's go over here to trend mode. I don't really want any candlestick patterns here. Although they can be fairly good, but there we go. Okay. So we have a signal here. That one worked out pretty well. Signal over here. That one worked out pretty well. Signal over here ended up working out very well, but I said this signal right here worked out a little bit well. This one did not work out too well. It all kind of depends though, because we had a banking crisis. See, that's the thing. You got to put real world examples in here. This one worked until it didn't. So it had a pretty nice, good move here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 4 is 28, something like that. 28 hours of good trading opportunities. You guys could have taken that, right? So I'm going to be looking on that in the 5-hour, the 50-minute chart. So it's kind of a different way of approaching investing, I would say, right? This one worked out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would say 8. I mean, even a little bit more over here if you really want to go down it. But pretty much just, 8 times 20, 8 times 7, whatever that is again. I'm horrible at this type of short-term math, but you guys get my point. A good move right here on the green. Nice solid moves. Right here, a little bit of a dip, but not really too crazy. Right here, super trend, boom up there. This one worked out, boom over there. So, you can get different strategies out of it, but I wouldn't be following it blind, and I don't think anybody should follow it blind. Let's see, I put this all off now. But I am going to try to do more strategies with you and just do like $10, $50, maybe $100 different bets on this type of stuff just for the fun of it. I think it'd be kind of fun to do some live trading here. But I'd probably have to put in like, if I have $5,000 in the copy trade account, I'll probably just toss in $2,000 into the margin trading account. Because I'm not going to have any money in spot wallet, I don't think. Unless I want to do, I can do a dollar cost average course with you guys. That might be kind of fun, a dollar cost averaging course. I don't have time for it, but if I do have time for it, I'll let you know. That could actually be pretty fun. We're just buying up a little bit of crypto here and here, and we're just keeping track of the overall movement up and down. But that could be interesting, doing the layout, doing the trading journal of keeping track of everything going on there, the original price, how far it is up now, stuff like that. But yeah. Back over here to the 15. Let's get rid of all that other crap for now. But yeah, I should start next time I see a signal. I'll start the next time I see a signal. It'll probably be how much do I want to risk if I'm doing $5,000 in the wallet? $200 to $300 per trade at 5x leverage. Probably maybe a 3x leverage to start. So maybe anywhere from $1,500 per trade. No, what's that? Let's just say $200. $200. Let's do $200. Start off for the first couple days and go on. Yeah, $200. So 200 times a 3x leverage. So $600 per trade. Then move that up to a 5x leverage. So $1,000 per trade, $200, and then probably I won't change the leverage above 5x, but I will be putting, instead of $200, it'll be $300 per bet, $400, and eventually moving up to $500 once we have some consistent profits here. That way people feel more confident about the money kind of being used as a copy trading vehicle, in the copy trading vehicle, I guess you would say. But yeah, I think that'd be a good kind of way to move this forward. And if you guys wanted to follow me on copy trading, I have a link down in the description. It just says, if you guys want to copy trade me, here's the link, right? And I think right above that, there's a chart prime link if you guys want to click on that as well. It's a good trading platform that'll give you guys the smart money concept stuff. It'll give you guys the market oracle, which I just showed you guys right there. And if you guys like to have candlestick patterns, it's why I like it a lot, just because of the candlestick patterns there. They also have bears versus bulls that show you different signals. It told you guys to buy, funny enough, down here where the banking crisis was going on. This is a 50-minute chart, so a little bit further back. Yeah. It was telling you to buy all through here because of those two bullish candle bars we had after bouncing above the 200 daily moving average when we were down here. So I missed that from a candle bar perspective, but you guys know me, I don't talk about candle bars all too much, but when you see them, it's pretty nice. It's better than having to memorize It's much better than having to remember this stuff. Like I still have trouble watching this stuff every now and again. Oh, can I just, I just want to show this, see the whole thing. Open link, open image, new tab. There we go. It's better than having to learn all of these, right? It's better when an algorithm can do it for you. But again, you know, I can be very simple when I want to trade sometimes. I can be very simple when I want to trade. To be honest, if Trump gets arrested, he's going to win in the landslide. I mean, I honestly don't know how it's going to affect the overall midterms, not midterms, primaries. But I do suspect it's going to put a lot of pressure on those other Republicans that don't like Trump to back him, because a lot of the Republicans that I've seen, and I guess I haven't really seen too many on the news because I don't watch the news all too much, it would be in their political interest to back Trump when he's being prosecuted by the New York, which is a very liberal city, right? Their attorney general's office. I think that'd be a sound political decision on their part if they want to win the White House. So I do think Trump is going to get a lot of support from this. And I would suspect that people that don't even like Trump, but they're kind of afraid of this government overreach that's been kind of happening over the last few years with all the censorship around COVID, the wild Twitter file stuff. Oh my God, that stuff in there is freaking scary as hell. You know, they're afraid that it's kind of encroaching upon them too much, and they may feel that because they like Trump, or even if they don't like Trump, it's like this is a way for them to say, hey, you guys need to like stop this. Because, you know, this could lead to some real violence out there, folks. I mean, people look for reasons to riot or get angry all the time. I live out here in, you know, Seattle. We have Antifa. They love a good riot. You know, if I lived in somewhere that was conservative, I'm pretty sure they have conservative riots too. But I mean, you know, out here, at least in Seattle, it's a lot of Antifa riots. You just kind of chill out, don't make eye contact, and you just kind of keep on going the way you're going. But that's if you go into downtown Seattle. I don't go to downtown Seattle all too much anymore. Too many shootings happening on this one nice street that I usually buy a lot of my stuff from at Nordstrom's, but I don't bother with it too much right now. Heck, you should have saw us last night. My mom was terrified about having to walk a block to this Japanese cuisine place that we went to, and this is like, it's not even a bad neighborhood, but my mom just didn't want to be anywhere downtown Seattle. So I felt kind of bad for her. Like, Seattle, it's a very beautiful place. It's just gone downhill the past few years. I'm hoping they can kind of reverse that trend there. But you know, we went to this place. I told you guys before, the Umi Sake House. Oh, I didn't spell that right, but yeah. Went to this place. Absolutely gorgeous food. Everything about this place is fantastic food. I like to eat here quite a bit. I had a couple of things of sake. It was really good. But everything about this place is just gosh darn beautiful. And I treated my mom. I spent a little bit of money here yesterday because my mom and sister are going to be watching my dog. So I decided to, you know, go pick them up and take them up to Seattle. But my mom didn't even want to have to walk a block because there was no place to park on the street. You know, street parking is always hard. But you know, perceptions around where people live can change a lot, especially these days. But, you know, there could be a lot of violence because of all this stuff. And I hope it doesn't happen because, you know, tensions are rising in this country, not just because of, you could say, Trump or Biden, the politicians. In some respects, it is the politicians. But the fact that the economy is just so bad, they're blaming politicians because of it. You know, I think if you ask people right now, the economy is very bad. I think you could probably say, you hear some thoughts like this. Republicans would say it's Joe Biden's fault. He doesn't know how to manage the economy. He said inflation was transitory. He stimulated the economy too much. He decided to go against the unions, and he sided with the railroad industries, et cetera, right? On the other side, Democrats would say, no, he's stopping us from going off of a cliff. He's been doing a fantastic job. The job market is still strong. People are still making money. Inflation is all Trump's fault because of COVID and how he handled it. And you would see that back and forth. You would see that back and forth happening a lot, right? And people on different sides, I'm not here to say one side's better than the other. Choose whatever side you want to, stick to your convictions, whatever. But then on the other side, you know, people are just going to blame the other side for anything. So is it the politicians' fault? No, it's just the way we're kind of geared. Remember, Americans are geared to be very short-term focused. We're not supposed to like think about things in the long term, like what happened last week, what happened the week before that. Our minds, as we're kind of like taught from social media and stuff, they're not designed to look that far back. We're just not. I have to look far back because I look at financial statements, I look at the markets, I look at the historical context of things. Like honestly, how many of you guys really remember stuff detail that happened like a couple weeks ago in your local and your like in your city? Unless it was something really, really bad, people just kind of like going through their life. Like, you know, it's like swiping through another TikTok video, but instead of like a minute, it's like, you know, you remember the last week or so. That's all you're doing. The government likes that. The government is allowed to do a lot of crazy stuff because we're like that. So that's why they kind of do that. Like that's what you're seeing right now in France. You see Macron passing this bill without a vote in the Congress, or their version of Congress, and people are obviously ticked off about it a lot because, again, he is doing this in a very undemocratic manner. Macron's approval rating is at 28%, I think I saw on TikTok. 28% approval rating. Joe Biden's is bad here in the 40s, but imagine him being at 28%. That is just the god-awful number to be at. But he did it anyway. And what does he expect to happen? He expects them to probably do some type of vote to try to stop it. The vote will fail because, again, politicians are politicians. It's in their best interest, not in the interest of the constituents. It's just the natural order of things these days. And over time, people are going to forget and just take it. Forget and take it. That's the way the system is designed. And Europe's in a lot more pensive than a lot of us, because remember, like we talked about that like a few weeks ago. We'll hop back more on crypto in a second, but frankly, Africa is getting more and more pissed off at Europe and America because we're taking all of their natural resources and building it into something really better than selling it for a much better price, and all of that wealth is being taken over here. Well, Africa is starting to slow down that process, and now Europe is being like, okay, where do we get our raw goods? And like, you know, like, well, you can buy our raw goods, but they're going to be very, very expensive. You know, or you can just buy the goods that we make over here, because we're going to turn those raw goods into really, you know, good stuff that we can sell, and you can just buy it from us. Either way, it's going to be more expensive for the Europeans, because the Europeans are much more climate friendly, which means they've allowed other countries to take on the burden of like ruining the planet, because they're still getting all the raw minerals, but they're not getting the raw minerals and, you know, manufacturing tools from their own countries. They're all coming from outside the Europe. So it'll be a huge, interesting thing to watch what happens over the next 20 years. You can even see Latin America. Latin America is going to be much more prosperous over the next 20 years, I would believe, as long as they can kind of simmer down those cartels. But Southern Asia, doing a lot of work right there. India getting much better. The West is kind of stagnating right now, guys. We're in a little bit of a pickle. We need to figure out a way to get out of that stagnation. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is getting better and better bit by bit. The good thing we got for us is we're still the biggest and baddest out there. So we can still kind of hunker down if we have to, but, you know, we want to find a way to thrive and not just survive. You know? So that's where the politicians come into place. Politicians help us thrive and not just survive. I think too many people are just surviving nowadays instead of actually having those thriving lifestyles. I think we all kind of hope we can get into at a young age. Well, remember, I grew up poor, so I kind of always hoped I would have money, but it was never a certainty. You kind of have to grind and grind and grind. Not have many friends for a few years, kind of grind and grind and grind. Have a high anxiety like I do, grind and grind and grind. It's not a pretty process, but at least when you get there, you're like, yay, I can do some stuff I couldn't do before. I can buy cereal boxes now. I can afford a cereal box, right? I have a box of Lucky Charms upstairs. As a kid, you don't think you could afford Lucky Charms? No, Lucky Charms is the rich people cereal. You got to get the what was the cereal back then? Raisin Bran. I ate a lot of Raisin Bran, and I ate a lot of Cheerios. And you put some sugar on Cheerios. I think my mom had Equal Packet or something, one of those little packets, and you put some sliced up bananas from the shelter. You know, you got yourself a magical treat. Bananas, a little bit of that fake sugar. I think fake sugar is actually really bad for you too. But that fake sugar and some milk, you know, it worked out. Now, I couldn't eat cereal so much because I was lactose intolerant and we couldn't get the lactose-free milk. So if I ate cereal, I would technically cry from the gas in my stomach. However, I still ate it every now and again because it was cereal, and cereal seemed like a really good thing because the commercials made cereal look like they was amazing. I don't know if it was another cereal I used. Oh, the mini wheats, the frosted mini wheats things. They used to sell them in like really big packages with like for like a cheap version side. Those were really good back in the day. That was probably my favorite treat because all you do is like you soak it in some milk and it was good. There was some good stuff there. What's right here? Thoughts about GME and CS being bought almost makes me want to YOLO like $100 in GME. If you want to YOLO $100, I would probably put it into GME here. As far as the, let's see. As far as it being bought, I'm just not entirely sure who truly wants to buy it. Like, I feel like they're just buying their their list of people, like their user base. Like every time the people send up for an email to get the newest product, I'm sure they're just trying to buy that aspect of it. Because I would still assume that a lot of the box stores are going to close and they make it into some type of like what I always wanted GameStop to do in order to kind of advance into the world is have a type of shop like a Steam or an Epic Games, bringing that to the market. That's what I thought their plan was to do the whole time, because they already have a really familiar fan base. People would already go there to buy stuff. Well, why not just build up your own platform like a Steam or Epic Games? That's what I thought they were going for. I think if somebody wants to buy them, they have to go down that avenue. From like, I've read their reports, and they need help. Yeah, I would say probably a YOLO. I mean, is $100 enough for a YOLO? Because you're gonna have to buy it out of the money for like probably 2 months out, because you never know how this stuff is gonna work out with all the banks. How are the banks gonna do massive financing deals if they're under this much stress? You know what I'm talking about? At least a month, if not a month and a half out, 150 to 200x, 200% out of the money is what you're probably going to be aiming for. I just don't know how much those cost and if they're actually under $100 or not. If you're looking to just do a normal, like, share trade spot, no options whatsoever, yeah, you can toss some money into it. Probably your safest bet. If you're looking for something more of a parabolic win off of it, probably a month and a half. Let's just call it a month and a half. 150x to 200x return on GME. So let's go over here very fast. Right. Because you guys can see it already found a short-term support here. Maybe a double bottom can form out. Maybe a double bottom can form out. But it's come a long way from those levels. This is almost like a freaking cryptocurrency, isn't it? But let's go over here to the monthly chart. All right. You're looking at about $51 at the high end. At the lower end here, you're probably looking at something around $42. To me, $42 seems a lot more reasonable, to be frank, in this circumstance. $40, yeah. So if you can find something, there's not going to be a $42.87 strike price here. If you can just aim for $40 strike price for, let's call it a month and a half away, that might not be too bad. If I go over here to talk about Livestream, who is another beautiful sponsor of this channel, let's go over here to GME, because we were just looking at Bed Bath & Beyond the other day too. All right, GME, let it load up a little bit. Nobody bought GME, too many GME calls today? No institutions bought them today. I should say no institutions bought them today. So we got 324 calls loaded this week, 324. Let's buy flow. Let's go from the beginning of this month to today. Okay, so just looking at some puts over here from the date time. Okay, let's go with the premium. So we got a $20 strike price put on here, and the current price is $16.87. So this is currently in the money, but they bought this 3.2. Can I go right here? Look at this. No, okay. Charts. See, they bought it at 370 and it's currently sitting at 425. So it is up quite a bit here. Implied volatility is about 99%. That's a little bit high for me, but it's fine. 317, that's already expired. 421 here. They bought at 313, which is 7 days ago last week. $20, that's fine. Let's just look for the calls here, I would say. But the overall sentiment you guys can see is very, very bearish, okay? Very, very bearish. So if you're looking to do a YOLO in here, let's see how this would play out. calls only. Not too many calls from institutional people out there. I mean, how could you convince your boss, hey boss, you know, hedge fund, I'm buying some puts, some calls on GameStop. I think it's going to go up. That's kind of crazy to say in and of itself, isn't it? All right, so this is just for this month. We got the highest premium being about $59,000. This expires at the end of the month here. This is a $19 strike price call. They bought it $306. At this point, though, let's see how much money they made off of it. Oh, they bought it for $1.99 and it's currently 82 cents. So they're definitely not making any money off of this one currently. 324. Not really much that expires in next month, though, in April. You know, like any dark pool data coming out? Maybe this will be some good buys in there. Somebody usually knows something. 3202. Cyclical. 2.6. 2,601,964. That's not bad. At 1819, so that's up a little bit since then. Still people buying it up a little bit here. Not much though. Let's just go over here very fast. 1758. I mean, there's nothing really coming up that would suggest that people are going to YOLO into this. But if you wanted to, that's the strategy I would take. Now, these are only institutional players, as you know. But still, it looks like most of the money's been moving into the SPY, of course. Tesla, as always. SPY, NVIDIA. NVIDIA's been something pretty fierce, as all of you guys know, though. Apple, Meta, anything out of the ordinary, though. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Is anything actually happening out of the ordinary? That's usually what I'm looking for. So if I got it here at GameStop, I just reset all. And if I perhaps go over here to at ask, above ask, but to ask, that's fine. We just want to see stuff that's being bought, not being sold. Calls only. Order size exceeds contracts OI. Oops, okay. Golden sweeps over $1 million opening orders. All right, let's go with this one first. Let's add that to historical where we see what's been happening. Okay. So, and then let me change it up from the last one to today. Oh, I can actually go from here to today. There we go. Okay. So a lot of this has been on the triple Q. No surprise there. You know, this is a lot of money in this kind of climate that we're kind of trading at. But you got GLD. People have been looking at that volatility here. I wonder, let me just check this out very fast. How is this one actually done? They bought at 176. It's currently 253. Yeah, that one's done really, really well. Amazon, Schwab, JP Morgan, 310. That was kind of when the banking crisis was going on. They did a good job there. How much have they made off of this one? Oh, they haven't. At 172 to 3? Oh, it already expired. That's why. Okay, if it already expired, it's going to look a little bit different. Sorry, guys. Expiring 3. Okay, I need to find something in April. Okay, here's GDX for 616. 87 days from now. They bought it at 320. They bought it for 320. It's currently at 665. I should show you guys more of these options plays, shouldn't I? I always forget about these things. FSLR 519. How's this one doing so far? It's had some options buys over the past few weeks, a lot in early March 1st through March 9th. Bought at $15, now at $10. That one didn't do too well. Which is this? But they bought at $15 and it had an opportunity to be sold at $18, so they probably sold it off then. But I don't know. Let me see. This expires 5/19. I wonder if they exercise their options or not. Amazon 324. Amazon 324. Those expire this week. How have those been working out? You can't tell when they sold, so that's the hard thing. You have to see them when they're actually up, because normally when you buy them, like here, you bought it at $7.45. Now it's at $12.75, but you could have sold it over here at $11.75 before it dropped down to $5 before it popped up, right? So most of you guys, I doubt, are holding it as long as these people that are hedge fund guys. So whenever you guys get to get profit, you guys should sell it. Oh, Tesla. What have they been doing here? Oh, they expired already. Oh, no, they expired 321. No, they don't expire just yet. They expired? No, these ones have gone down a lot. Oh, that's because Tesla, yeah, 650. Oh, wait. So this is why you guys have to take your profits. Zoom this out very fast. You see how far this? It's under $1.15 now. They bought it at 645. It rose all the way up here to 746 for an awesome profit. But if they held it on for a longer period of time, oh my gosh, they're probably not looking too good. But Tesla's indicators don't indicate that it's supposed to have some big boom anytime soon. But this, again, this was all the way back over here at the beginning of the month. Things were looking a lot more optimistic before we had a banking crisis. I'll start showing you guys this a lot more. Now, these are all what you might call like keep your eye open for these really, really aggressive plays by hedge funds. If a hedge fund is going aggressive into something, usually it's worth having a little bit of a peek at it just to see if they're looking at a technical breakout or a fundamental breakout happening, a fundamental news event happening, I should say. But let me go over here. Let me take out the golden sweeps for multi-exchanges. And then what I want to do is order size over quantity over order size. We can take that away for now. Calls only. And then what I want to do is highly unusual, or do I want to do aggressive? Let's go with aggressive first because there's not going to be too many aggressive orders. It's doing everything historically, so it's going to take a couple seconds. Here we go. Max historical data flow extended. Okay, there's a lot of flow in here. Oh, I didn't put a minimum. Like last time it was like 1 million. Yeah, there's no minimum on this one. So yeah, of course, there's not going to be too much here. Okay, KRE. It's ETF, unusual, aggressive, Tesla. This is all 330. Those were all earlier in the month. I should probably change this over here to what's happening over the last week or so. There you go. That should fix it up a little bit. KRE, what's this one? This was bought 313. So that's last week though. Excuse me. So how's the chart looking up so far? Not so good. $2 here, 334. Oh, but it went from $2 all the way up here to 285. So okay, again, so be careful about how long you want to hold these options for. But usually it's you want to buy, hold a little bit, then make money. But I'm always looking at the latest time because I'm like, oh, how are they making a lot of money in that time frame? Which of us holds options for over a month? Let me tell you. Let me tell you. VIX 317. Really? I wonder how this one worked out. The VIX this is probably losing money now. They already sold it. Yeah, they bought it. Yeah, 241 sold it. Yeah. But it did hop up because remember the banking crisis from 241 all the way up here to 282. They probably sold around 259 or something. Not a huge profit there because the government stepped in to kind of calm the markets down a little bit more. But is there anything really coming up that's really aggressive? 421 FOSS ETF. What's this one? That's a huge percentage increase. Oh, you can't see it because my face is in the way. That's a huge percentage increase right there. Over 86,100%, so 8,600% increase in volume. So how's this one been performing? And it went from $1.37 to $1.55, still around $1.32 though. They're probably holding this one. What is this? FAS? But as far as GameStop is concerned, yeah, you want to do that $40 level there, about a month and a half out if you can. Shorter time frame, sure, but be careful with it. It's definitely a YOLO play. What's that one we were just checking out here? FAS. Direxion Financial Bull 3x shares. They must be betting on a no rate hike or a rate cut probably. So let's go over here. This is the monthly chart, so they're probably buying a dip there, the daily. And when did they buy this? 320. So that's today. That's today. So they bought it today. They're hoping for a reversal here. Okay, so financial ETFs, I guess they're going, somebody's betting on the banks doing big here. So top 10 index holdings is Berkshire Hathaway, 14.85%. That's pretty big. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, which got hit hard, Charles Schwab, which got hit hard, Goldman Sachs is fine, Morgan Stanley, S&P Global, BlackRock, and Chubb. So this guy's banking, on the banking sector having a turnaround here over the next few days. And I'm guessing they're betting on the potential Fed talk that's going to be coming out tomorrow. So this might be something that if you want to buy tomorrow off of what a professional investor bought, this could be something to look at as well. That one's interesting. GDX, okay. VIX. Everybody's buying VIX. VIX. Volatility. Meta, Tesla. What was bought today, though? Let's just take out historical flow. Yeah, that FOS was the biggest one for today. GDX, VIX, a lot of VIX. A lot of people buying volatility for tomorrow. I guess I can't blame them. Affirm. Why are they buying Affirm? Affirm sucks. Let's see. 331. They're playing for next week. Everybody's making bets for next week. They bought it 51 cents. It's at 56 cents. They're already doing okay on it, though. Oh, yeah. Members out there, I'll start giving you guys some more options flow data. That'll be something I can do for you guys, right? Mostly aggressive plays, though. Some aggressive with some higher money, probably a minimum of like $100,000 buy-in or a $500,000 buy-in. I'll figure it out. I may just show you guys something like this and just show you guys something that I like out of it. But you guys can see that, yeah, pretty good. Huh. All right, we didn't show any puts here, though. Maybe I should just show you puts to see how bad everything, the real things here. So not just calls only. There you go. You can see FRC has a big old put on it right now that was bought today. Financial services. So somebody's betting against financial services. GDX, IMW, FRC, RUT, FRC again. FRC, wow. Somebody does not like FRC. How's FRC been doing so far? There were a lot of trades on FRC today. I need to figure out what this is. First Republic Bank. Why am I forgetting that? Okay, that explains it. Everybody's going gung-ho with First Republic Bank. This is not something I would say anybody wants to trade, but this is a $10 strike price on First Republic Bank. I think it's at $20 right now. Oh, it's at $12. Oh my gosh, it did drop down even more. Holy shit today. Okay, yeah, yesterday it was at 20 bucks. I'm thinking of yesterday's price. Damn, this thing keeps on going down, doesn't it? When did they buy this? 12.21. So they bought this later in the day. They didn't buy this in the morning. But let me see, how is this working out for them so far? Oh my God, they did not buy at the high point. Oh my gosh, what the heck? They're probably the person driving this whole price up right now. They're probably that one market guy that's buying up so much they just had to do it. So they bought for $2, and it's technically at $2.19. So they are up a profit, but my gosh, the balls on that guy. This one's over here, 12.22. Let's see, was anything actually in there earlier though? Like in the morning hours, 11:56. Let's go over here to time. Other time. 9:46 a.m. a call. Oh, the poor call. Who would have bought a call? It must have been a hedge. Yeah, they bought it at $3.80, everybody. Now it's down to $1. That must have been a hedge. There's no other way to put it. Here's a put, a $15 put, $3.24. They bought it $2.60, and it went up as high as $4.80. Now it's at $5.29. This guy, wowza. And you can see the price of the asset continue to fall down during all that. Yeah, especially over the last few days here. Yeah. Okay, enough option flow going on right now. If you guys have any questions about any options flow, let me know. I don't talk about these guys enough, but I should probably start talking about them more. But yeah, interesting thing walking over here as far as First Republic Bank. A lot of money being poured in this, but a lot of yellows, everybody. A lot of yellows. Like this poor guy, 320 today. They bought it 9:53 a.m. Eastern time. Poor soul bought it $6.90. $6.90. Now it's at $2.35. Now they could make a lot of money really fast if it bounces up because it's so volatile. But you cannot have. You have to have some. What do you want to call it? Some discipline if you want to be trading this type of thing. This is absolutely insane. Look at that weekly chart. Look at that daily chart just bouncing all around. Can you imagine? Can you imagine just like being one of the executives of this company and watching your net worth drop, like fall by 40% in one day, then go up by 40% the next day, then go down by 40%? Oh my gosh, that'd be absolutely insane right there. All right, Bitcoin's still consolidating here, not doing anything too crazy. But yeah, it's, my gosh, these banks, they're definitely seeing a lot of increased options activity, which I think is warranted here based on all the news we've been kind of reading about over the last few days. Do I use margin? I'm buying some dividends and long-term stuff, then swing trading, day trading on margin. Thoughts? I don't use margin when it comes to stocks, but that's because I primarily do options when it comes to the stock market. So I do like the fact of like getting more exposure into the markets. So I would say if you want to do that, go for it. Just make sure you're completely disciplined. I don't see any reason to not do it. Historically for me though, I just stick to options. But as you know, options have their downside, and when you start putting in implied volatility, the deltas, the thetas, and stuff like that, that's where the fault of options comes into play, which isn't really a fault, but it's another way for you to have more stuff to manage, right? I primarily like to do it more on crypto because I can trade it kind of whenever. I can get in and out whenever. I don't like to. I've been like burned on the dumps of different assets in the past. Same with options, to be frank, right? But I don't see any problem with it as long as you're disciplined. Keep on doing it. Just, you know, if you hit a streak and you're doing very, very well, don't start increasing your leverage. That's the one thing I would just say. Like, have a leverage and stick to it. It makes your life a lot easier. If you want to increase your leverage, frankly, one of my friends did this, and he's a big leverage stock trader. He made a separate account on a whole different platform. Like, I think he went from TD Ameritrade, and he made an account on I think it was E-Trade. And he does his stuff on, maybe it's the other way around, but he does his stuff, his high leverage plays on a whole different platform. So I think he went up to like a 15, 20x leverage on his stock positions. And he had to prove that he was making money before he did so because he went to a different exchange. He was able to pass all that background stuff and do his stuff. But I would have a separate account for it because you don't want to have it messing up what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. When I see larger leverage accounts or margin accounts, they're usually doing some fun day trading when it comes to a crisis of some type, or just in a sector that's seeing a little bit more volatility than normal. I guess right now you might be thinking more of the banking sector. Normally though, I think it's something more of what's happening in the world of tech, because tech is usually a bit more volatile out there. Or maybe the meme stocks out there, but I would not be trading meme stocks with margins. But yeah, I mean, it's just, there's nothing wrong with it. Just don't go out of control. And you don't seem like you're going out of control. So I would assume you're doing a very good job with it so far. But yeah, it seems fine to me. Let's see. What's the difference between the log chart? So when you're looking at different charts out here, let me open up this one. Let's go to load layout, and let's just go to unnamed. Okay, there's no indicators on this one. Let's go over here to Coinbase. Okay. This is a log chart right here. There you go. Everything looks a little bit easier for your eyes, so you guys can kind of keep track of what's going on. The signals work a little bit better in your head, and it messes around with the X and Y axis here just a little bit. But you guys can see, look at, this is what Bitcoin looks like to most of you guys. Let me do this here. Let me take my head off of the screen, and let me put this into a full screen mode for you. Okay. Let's move this over here to the side. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin's. This is what I usually use for Bitcoin. Okay. However, if I were to turn log off, Bitcoin looks like this. Okay. This is pure raw numbers. Raw numbers. It doesn't really change up much with the X and Y axis too much. This is a kind of like an organic or natural way to look at Bitcoin. Okay. So you can kind of see how drastically we've come down, but you kind of see how this stuff over here is kind of squeezed. See how it's getting squeezed? I don't like having all of that squeezed right there, but I think this is a great opportunity to show you guys like how far Bitcoin has gone up, how much it ran up during that last cycle, and kind of where we're at now. If you want to see it from like a more natural viewpoint of Bitcoin. And you can still do a lot of the same stuff here. Like I could put a trend line right here, right? But you can see how the trend line right here, that breakout, it really doesn't do much good for you. Maybe a few days, right? A few little things of good days, then boom, come back down. You can see over here, this trend line, it did do a good job right there, right? Did do a good job right there. Broke out, kind of moving up a little bit higher. It has its uses, but I don't like to see everything squeezed like this. When if I can just put the log, if I put the log back on, I can go back to auto. You see how it's not squeezed anymore? I can see it. I can zoom in on it, not have a problem, right? When it comes to day trading though, like if I go over here, maybe to, 15 minute. Oh, 15 minute. There you go. Okay. Minute for them means month, I guess. But what do you call them? This is a 15 with log on, a 15 with log off. There's not much difference, okay? So when we're looking at it like this, there's not much difference at all. It's mostly when you kind of zoomed out a little bit. So log off, right? It still doesn't look like much. This is log off. Log on, not much difference. So when you're day-to-day trading, it's not going to really make a big effect, but I will show you this. If I put a trend line right here from that low to that low right there, you can see how we dip below it just slightly. Maybe if I turn log off, this may change a little bit here. So let's just kind of zoom in for you. Nope, barely changed. Barely changed at all. So sometimes you may see that breakouts don't occur on the log, but they do occur on the non-log. That's about it. I don't really mess with it too much, guys. But I'm normally going to keep my charts on a log here. I usually keep them on a log. On log, excuse me. But then, you know, even if you like, if let's say you guys don't like to use log, you guys, there's a whole bunch of settings on TradingView to help you guys out. So like, let's say I just put a typical Fibonacci system on here, right? And you can see, you know, you hit your support zone over here, a support zone temporarily, a support zone over here, reversal zone right there, right? Usually people like to buy within this zone of what 0.018, 0.768, whatever. People will buy in here or in here for those larger term reversals based off of the higher trend. It's up to you to determine which one it is. Most likely it would look like this zone over here because you have that resistance. There's not much support over here except for maybe over there. And again, you know, you guys will determine that on your own. But when you have that, you can go over here to your settings, go all the way down. I think you guys can see this. Yeah. You see this right here, fib levels based on log scale. You can always turn this off if you want to see if it makes any big difference, right? Not much of a difference right here. Not much. You can see a slight difference up and down, up and down. But again, when you go over here to the weekly charts or the daily charts, whoa, it makes a huge difference. Let's take away those drawings. Let's go over here to the COVID lows. Let's do a magnet to make this precise up here to 69,000. Good old 69er. All right, there we go. So now you can see this is with the log turned on, I believe. Yeah, fib levels based on log scale turned on. Support level right here, support level right there. Bounced off of it, looking pretty nice. Everything's kind of hunky-dory. Did not work here, but that's okay. But something else might have worked over there. But I think what actually worked on this one was it this one? No, that one worked over that one as well, huh? Okay, I'm missing something here, but it's fine. But if you go over here and you turn it off, remember how crazy this thing looked when we were zoomed out? How crazy big this looked? We'll look at it now when we do it like this, okay? I should probably, okay, there. On, off, and then you can see something else, right? It worked right there for a week. It worked right here for a few weeks. Little reversal popped up. Worked right here. Worked right there. Worked right there. FTX kind of screwed us over, honestly. So that's that. But you can see how it turned into a level of resistance. And now we're coming up to here. All right. So it really depends on how you guys want to see the charts. But if I were to turn this log chart off, again, you see how it still matches up with that one? Support right there, support right there, support right there, support right there. FTX, again, pissing us off again, but, you know, we're there. Or you could try to adjust in different ways, but yeah. But if I have log off, this is log off, and I do base right here, it'll actually fog it out, so I actually can't click on it, all right? So it stops you from making any mistakes there as well, which is kind of nice. But let's say I do something pretty crazy, like going from this low, like let's say we want to figure out what's happening to Bitcoin over the next few months, right? Here's log on the monthly chart. Let's go to the COVID lows over here. Let's do a trend-based Fibonacci extension. I should do the magnet here. All up to the highs, all the way down to the lows. On this one right here, our next level of resistance where things might get a little bit more hard is about $40,000. I think it'll be very hard for us to crack that $40,000 threshold. But again, we're not even close to that right now. We're about like $12,000, $13,000 away from it at this point. This is a monthly chart as well, so give it some time to get back up there. But again, if I were to come back over here, again, I cannot click it, can't change anything on it. I go over here to log, turn log on. All right. You see how now I can see back in time a little bit more. Everything's kind of spread out. Everything's a little bit easier. But That 40,000 is now $46,000. All right, changes up just a tad right there, or more than a tad. But again, you can turn it off if you guys don't want to see it. So turn it off, and it goes back down here to $40,000. All right, so you're seeing the levels of what they would be on a log, a chart with no log on it. But if you want the log on, you get it. That's where you click this on. Okay, most of you guys will keep this checked on at all times. But I would say it's always kind of fun to check out both. I usually check the one that's closest. So in this circumstance, I would actually have log off, right? And you can see a good opportunity for us in this target. It would be, if this truly is the bottom for Bitcoin, would be around 80,592. 80,592 would be a good opportunity for you to scale out next time, because next time we don't have all this free government cash coming in and bullish up the market here. But you could even like, maybe I can do this in hindsight type of thing. So let's go to log on. Let's go to here. Let's go over here. Let's make sure this is fib levels on. Okay. Get rid of it now. Low point of the 2015 cycle, which you guys can kind of see. There you go. The high point of 2017 when CNBC first started getting a hold of Bitcoin. Bring it down here. All right. Let's see how this played out over time, right? Look at that, right? This is with log on and fib levels based on log scale on right there, right? So boom, ba-doom. Nice little pause right there. Nice little pause right here. Look at those highs right there. Come back down, find some supports. I usually don't use these for return support levels, though. You guys use the regular Fibonacci retracements. This is a Fibonacci extension, but there you go. So you can kind of use it in hindsight, if you will. Now, not everything is going to be 100% perfect, right? We have another one we could use right here where you have this on the low end, high there, right? This one, on the other hand, maybe if I can delete this one for now. See, this one's not as accurate. Now, I was going for the long term because this is more of a drastic look. Normally, you want the more drastic looking things. And COVID kind of messed this up as well, as you guys all know. However, a little bit of rejection right here, a little bit of rejection right here, or because afterwards, so right here, worked out right there. Punched through, a little bit of resistance right there. We had a little bit of resistance right here last month. Remember, this is a monthly chart, a little bit over here. But again, it's kind of iffy because the market was all over the place. But we can go over here, and we can turn fib levels based on log scale off or on. I'm looking at it, and you can see how drastically everything looks now. A lot different, right? A lot different. Now we're running up into a big level of resistance. If I go over here to the daily, and look at that, we're hitting one right here. I think from the majority of you guys, though, an easier way of doing all this is probably just to have one of those ugly charts that I have as far as your GAN boxes. So go over here to my main charts. Bitcoin still consolidating, surprise. If I go over here to my GAN box chart, Coinbase, Bitcoin, daily, you're going to see a similar level of resistance by just doing this. And there's a zone right here. Don't ignore this white line here. That's for something else, but ignore the technicals. Oh, I can just go to this for now. There you go. Certain level of resistance right there with that little bit of a spiral. Some more clusters down here where we were trying to, again, FTX, this stuff has been really killing. No, this isn't FTX. This is February 23rd. What was that? That was just a big old dip because we ran back into multiple supports over here. You want to find these clusters and trade off them. Broke out here temporarily, matching with those clusters. Usually those orange lines that we talk about quite a bit are usually those big points. But you're not supposed to use these as like buying and selling signals. I usually use them as like, hey, here's a wall we're going to have to break above. And so you guys can see right here. I probably don't want to use a line. I'll just use a box here. I could probably move it down right here. There's a cluster of 3 horizontal lines. Don't worry about what the lines are. They're just GAN levels and fib levels. That's a level of resistance that's going to be hard to break out. And it took us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. On the 7th day, we arose. we basically broke through this sucker at a very rapid pace here. Then found support off of this GAN spiral, GAN circle, if you will. It's just a quarter of a circle. And then, of course, we kept on going on. But again, even when you do these types of GAN boxes, you're putting these on a log off chart. So I won't spend too much time on this because I know you guys want to hear other stuff, but these type of rants can serve you well. If I go over here to the Bitcoin daily chart, all right, I don't put GAN boxes and stuff on these particular charts, right? So I can do what would be something good to do here very fast. Let's do it this way. Okay. Again, square, find the low point over here from 2018. Drag this out. Let me do something over here very fast. Open that up. I want to figure out which ones I used for you guys. Normally, there's a standard one I use for you guys and a few other ones I've memorized. I want to make sure I got the right one. Let's see, because I think I told you guys the basics. There we go. This is the one I told you guys. I believe I put it on the video for you guys. Okay, let me drag this over here very fast. All right, so for now, I think 360 should work on this one, or maybe it's the 720. 360? Yeah, okay, 360 should work on this one. 360, 180? Yeah, 180 is not going to work. Yeah, 360 seems to be the right one. 360. 200 is too short, isn't it? Worth taking that check, though. Oh, 200 is not too short. Okay, good. Okay, so I need to, before I make any other, lock price to bar ratio. Okay. Oh, no, see, it forces me out of it. Okay, see, this is, okay. There's a difference here, and this is why I don't know. This is why I normally do it in log. Okay, so just imagine this is being this way. I'll try my best to make this as precise as possible. All right, so then after that, I'm going to put on a GAN box. I hope that looks like it's lined properly. And we want to have this line lined up there and this lined up there. That's too much clutter there. I need to take away these angles for you guys. All right, so, oh boy. It's close enough, I would say. Close enough. I think that will do the trick. I'm going to lock this one, and I'm going to come over here and there you go. Lock this one as well. All right. So this is a GAN box without, that's not, this is with log on. Okay. This is GAN box with log on. You have your GAN box and your GAN square on here. And now that I have this up and running, I should be able to, is this the right one? No, it's this one. I'm like triple clicking, which is turning it off. Okay. There we go. Okay. Angles. And I can have the angles on here. So what I can do now is zoom in, and I can't zoom in according to the log price to bar ratio because I can't turn it on because it'll go automatically into log. But what you can see here is, I mean, not much good stuff if you ask me. I mean, honestly, not much that good stuff. We had a little bit of resistance up here that kind of worked itself out, a little bit over here. I honestly don't like it all too much. A little bit of support right here on this exact point, which is kind of nice. But again, how would you differentiate that? Don't worry about the angles too much, guys. The colored lines are usually what you're looking at. But a little bit of resistance right here. We've kind of broken over here. Not really too much of what I like to see. You know, kind of hovering around maybe some resistance after we broke down after the Celsius crash. Right, a little bit of resistance right there. Some resistance right there as well. Some support right there now. You know, matching up a little bit. But primarily, I don't necessarily like this style all too much. I don't really see too much value from it, from doing it from log. Now, if I were to get rid of, well, let's do like this, okay? Let's open up another one. Bitcoin one more time. Let's go to the weekly charts. Let's have log off this time. And you can see it's very hard to figure out where to put the lines and if you can't see where to put them in. And this is like the fault right now. So what you do is you go over here. You can actually start this off like this. You go to log on, keep log on at first, open up a yellow line and put that at the same price we had before. Down here at the low, scoot it over one time. All right. Then from here, I know this is expanding on your question, but this is important for you guys to understand as far as why you might use log and versus not. When it comes to these type of mathematical things, it's better to have the log tab turned off, okay? So once we have this here, now you're going to turn log off. Go over here. I have a video that explains all of this if you want more detail down the road. Just type in GAN square trading strategy or something like that. Lock price to bar ratio on, okay? Then that way when I zoom in here, and again, I can zoom in all the way in here. I can't see anything without that yellow line, right? There's a huge difference in these prices, even though you guys can't tell. All right, go over here. Now what I do is go back over here. Let's add the square first. Right. And this one is 360 as well. 360. Can we drop this down to 200 as well? Should be fine. 200 perfectly fine. Okay. Right. And then this is the part where we get started again. Trust me, I know. Move my microphone over here. Let's go back over here. Let's do the GAN. Nope. The GAN box. Need to have it down here again. I don't really care about the angles in this one, so I'm just going to take them out now. Zoom out. There we go. Oh, and I can't move over here as much. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. Okay, let's zoom this in a little bit. Okay, good enough. Now when you look here, you can see a little bit more action, a little bit more accuracy. That resistance up here, that resistance as we try to climb up here, that resistance as we hit all this clutter over here, just a massive level of choppiness there. If we would have broken out here, we would have been freaking sky high, honestly. Coming back down here, didn't find support, but we found support here at the doubles, the blue and the green line here, getting some resistance at the arcs here from the Fibonacci levels. Not much here because we dove back down. I think this was a September dip because we were consolidating before making that breaking of that flag. Broke out here, a little bit of resistance here. I guess it's harder to show you on the, can I go to daily and it won't piss me off too much? You can see a lot more reaction to the lines is what I'm trying to tell you. A lot more reaction. It seems a lot nicer. Now I know this is the daily chart. We set this on the weekly chart, but you can see a lot more reaction to these lines, which is why I like it a lot better here. A lot more reaction to the lines. And I normally look for different clusters out here because this is just the GAN box and the GAN square from the 2018 lows to the 2021 highs. You can have, which is that cluster one I showed you before, the 2020 lows of COVID, the 2018 lows, and the 2017 lows. And you can even go back as far as like the 2015 lows or something like that. I think it's 2014, 2015 lows. And you can have all those on one screen, but you can see how we react to these lines. And these are just one of them. We react to them. We're kind of staying within that zone. When we break out of that zone, all of a sudden things look a little bit more happy, a little bit more prosperous. We break back down, things look a little bit nastier, right? A little bit of resistance there, a little bit of a breakout there until then FTX dark stain on technicals everywhere. But again, that set us back a while because we really had to consolidate. We broke out, and again, there's another line right there from the 2017 Fibonacci levels, I think, GAN box levels. Broke out here, found some support. When you do it on set this type of stuff on log, it's much better. So I'd recommend starting to learn how to use log and for these types of technicals. Most people don't like to use this type of stuff, to be frank, like the GAN fans, the GAN squares, the GAN boxes. They require some numbers that you have to kind of memorize. So that's why they're a little bit more just not widely used. They're more difficult, right? You can even use fib circles and all that type of stuff here. And fib circles have had their points in history too. I mean, maybe if I turn this off, get rid of all this stuff now, go to auto. What's a good one for us to be using? I guess because I don't want to take up too much of your time here. Let's go to this. Let's do weekly again because daily is just too hard to look at. Let's go here. Let's do a little bit of a line here just so I can see what's going on. And let's draw a square onto this one. This is a cheat way to do it, but I still like to do it anyway. All right, and let's copy and paste this on there. One of my friends swears by this method and it hasn't led me astray so far, so I like to do it every now and again. Balance that out like that. Okay. Now there's two ways you could use like the GAN circles and stuff like this here. The fib circles, excuse me. We do a low to here. You can just try to do it to the high point and you can see if there's anything that happens. So like right here, a fib, we had a big drastic move afterwards. Over here, we had a big drastic move afterwards. So some things were timed up here. And you can even see within that, we had some support levels in here that kind of matched up. I don't necessarily like doing it like this. I would expand it all the magnet off all the way out here and try to make that into the corner as much as I can, frankly. And then you kind of zoom in and there you can see, since we've used this, you can only use it after the point of the mid where you find that high and then you kind of double the square. So you can see after that, a little bit of support, some support, no support down here, got a lot more choppy, a little bit of support there, not much support there. I guess this was Celsius crashes, but still after it came down here, resistance, we're still hitting that resistance level. I think the better one to use is probably the COVID Oh, I used the COVID lows, not the 2018 lows I did over here. Okay, that's what it is. I'm used to looking at a different one. The COVID low ones actually kind of goes a little bit further, where it's like, it's not going to work here. But yeah, it's not going to work at all because the square is not in the right spot. But it shows you a lot more informative stuff. Even going back over here to the 2017 one, I think works pretty well. But yeah, you want to use a lot of this stuff in log. You can use it with log on here. Like if I go over here, you can try to do it as well. Oh, okay. Let's scale price chart only. There we go. Give me a second. Okay. Now I moved it over here to this low. Again, it's not going to work perfectly, but you can kind of see almost the highs here, the lows over here, some breakouts there, some resistance here. And again, this has to be adjusted based off of this. You see how this one is no longer the same size as this one? Very drastic. I would have to copy this one over again and do something else. But again, this is the square. No, I'm not even trying. The square is not even in the right spot. The square needs to be put over here. But you guys get my point. There's a huge potential used for this type of stuff. Right, this is log off. This is log on. Log off. You can see how drastic the market changes. But there's a lot of good stuff you could be using here, right? But still, right now, we've already had our time. We consolidated here. We consolidated here. We're up at some resistance levels now. Holding up. That next stop right here is 28,935, 29,000. After that, we're clear to the promised land up here to about 30,500, up to around 31,400, and then maybe a little bit higher if you're taking the log off approach here. But again, you know, you can see the clusters down here, all that support levels. Remember the horizontal orange lines or the green and orange blue lines. Those are the ones I look at the majority of the time. But, you know, a lot of it can be pretty useful. Remember, we broke out here and I told you guys there was another line up here. If you guys remember, we stopped right there, right? So that type of stuff does matter here. All right, but enough of that stuff. Sorry, guys, I can get really drawn into technical teaching stuff. But yeah, learn how to use log. It's important. You know, I just kind of told you guys a sliver. There'll be a lot of videos on YouTube that explain it in much more detail than I did. And I pretty much just told you not even what the big part of log is, but mostly like how I use it. But it's an easier way for you guys to be able to see what's been happening in the history without it being all chunked out. Because again, you know, I think CNBC and a lot of these other networks don't use log as much or log off because they don't like the logarithmic view of a lot of these different charts. So if I go over here to Apple, this kind of shows you how wild everything has been over the past few years. So let me get out of it. Let's look at the monthly chart for Apple. See, this is log. Okay, you see how it's been growing and growing and growing. Now, look at this when I take the log off. You can see how parabolic this rise has really been since 2018. Big booms. Financial crisis was way back over here. Can you even see it? No. This is why everybody's freaking out. This is why we have so many rich people all of a sudden. The stock market has been going up and up and up. Now, Apple's had a stock split. A lot of these companies have had stock splits, but still, they've gone up a lot. Google, boom. Tesla, boom. Nvidia, you can't even see the Tesla on the small end here because, you know, they've had so many stock splits because they went up so freaking fast. Microsoft right here, Meta right there, Avgo, Jesus, coming back with a fury here. Banks, poor Bank of America, you know, Netflix, right? You can see really how far they've come. $21 back in 2012. They've had a split probably, but you can just imagine $23 up to $600, like $900, $700. Of course we needed a crash here. Of course we do. CVX, right? Coming back down. Oil stocks aren't nearly as bad because oil is a commodity out there. Home Depot, but even Home Depot, Intel doesn't do anything. You guys know I don't like Intel as far as long-term holding, but you could try like a few month holding, sure. But I mean, this thing has just been horrible. I don't know what else. MasterCard, oh, beautiful. The really big one is Visa though. Do I have Visa? Yeah, there it is. Visa. I've been holding Visa for such a long time, since like I was in college when some guy told me to buy it. But yeah, you know, it's use log. It's good to see what's kind of going on and the different markets out there. Let's go over here, back to the 15. And we are still freaking consolidating, guys. Still consolidating. That's not the right level. Oh, we're breaking down from this first one. I wonder if there's going to be able to hold the second one here. We'll keep an eye on it. Pop that one back up here. There we go. Oh, did we already break down below this one? Was I looking at a different chart, I wonder? Because we already broke down. We haven't been talking that long. I guess that one already broke down. Never mind then. Not going to be too useful for us. There we go. Hey, Evan, can I take a look at Nike earnings? Nike's earnings, they're usually pretty strong for them. I know they've been having some woes as far as Foot Locker, I think. The chart's in a solid position. They did have a breakdown a few weeks ago, but even looking at that, you're looking at a golden cross about to happen between the 20 and the 200 daily moving averages here. It bounced back up after all the banking nonsense we've experienced over the past week. We having a breakout too? Just had a breakout a few days ago, so that was your opportunity right there. It was flagging back down. I would say if the it's going to be hard right now because of earnings. But if earnings are good tomorrow, I could see this thing bouncing up to at least $125 or so, maybe even $127. Your real level of resistance when you're looking at this really just happens to be right up here. Maybe a little bit of a channel right there from back in the day, last couple of weeks. Maybe from 125.48 to 127. That'd be my price target if you want to trade. If it does have a pretty big spike tomorrow and you're looking for some type of opening for a short, I might try to open it up during that time and come play it back down just for a couple bucks, maybe back down to 123 as it approaches the 50 moving average on the daily chart, excuse me. But for now, it's primed to go. It also broke out above the 20-day moving average here, yeah. It's primed to go, ready to, after a nice solid breakout, looking to make a move up here to 125. It's a solid play. Earnings, though, I don't know if they're after hours or before hours. Earnings are going to be something you need to keep track of here. But I can show you here. Oh, I need to reset everything. Yeah, because I have all those other settings on there. NKE, we just want flow from today. Premium is really set, looks like. Oh, overall. So the overall sentiment seems to be pretty bearish here. You got one big call, though, for 421 April 21st calls expiring at a strike price of, what is this? 122. The current price is 121. So it's barely out of the money, just barely out of the money here. But they must be playing a bet for tomorrow because they bought this at 211. So this is like, a few hours before market close. I don't expect this to be doing anything crazy. Yeah. They bought at 590 and it closed off at 632. So it must have had a pretty big post-market move or end of day move. There's that big end of the day move right there. Yep. You got some puts in here as well. 519. That's okay. That's May. That's a little bit further out there. That's June. A little bit further out there. 721. That's a little bit further out there. 9. That's September. Not many calls that expire too short here. This is 421. Yeah. Not many calls that expire like sometime in end of March. Let's go to expiring. When they expire, 119, 2024. The closest call that expires that was bought today expires in 2021. I can probably extend this off a little bit more for you, but just probably back until like I'd probably just go to like last Wednesday until now. So 324, those expire this Friday. Those are puts for 116. I don't know how these ones are doing. Yeah, 350 at 306, they're probably not doing too hot. Mostly all of this, though, is puts. A lot of puts. A lot of puts. And the ones that are calls are still 421, April, yeah, 616. A lot of people are buying calls and puts that expire far off from where we are now. I don't think people expect all too much from it, but it seems like the one that does, maybe kind of closer to mid-April, that one seems to be kind of around where we are now. I'd be looking more to do a little bit more day trading here as far as Nike. You're seeing a solid breakout right there. Played up until tomorrow. You're going to have your first level of resistance around 122. Maybe a little bit of a channel there, 122 to 122.73. Let's hop out of this, though. Let's go over here to maybe the 1 hour. What can I see over here? Really, the 2 hour? All we really see is that breakout that we discussed earlier, right? That breakout right there, nice breakout. Had a little bit of a choppiness over the last few days, but now it looks like we're trying to flag up into another move right there. But you had the golden cross on the 2 hour. That's good news. Yeah, I would try to do a day trade. Maybe try to buy in the 121 level, somewhere under 121.50. And then from there, I could see you trying to just play it up to maybe 122.60. So play within that range right there. It may be able to boost above the 200 on the 2-hour chart. Let's just look at the 1-hour chart very fast. It's already above that. 4-hour chart, we're looking at any resistance. No, nothing there. 50-minute charts, still holding on, doing fine. Yeah, I think I would try to get back up here to 122. A short-term day trade, if it breaks above that, awesome. But this would be a really solid scale level for an easy, 10 to 15% profit. I'm not really expecting anything really great until the earnings come out. You just want to aim up here for 122.28, really about $1 from what it is now. I wouldn't play around with it too much. If you're going to try to buy something for tomorrow, I would just try to look for something around the 125 strike price. Maybe the 127 that expires next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday. And hopefully the implied volatility isn't really above 50 to 80%. If it's like in the hundreds of percents, I'd be surprised, but don't buy it if it's that too bad. If you're more on the bearish side because you feel like the economy is slowing down, people can't buy luxury sneakers anymore. I consider Nike luxury sneakers. Then you might be looking for something more of a 117, 118 strike price expiring again next Friday here. You could have some fun with that, but probably would do next Friday. At most, you're going to be looking at a 115 put. But again, with the federal rate hike coming out Wednesday, not tomorrow, next Wednesday, you're going to see some chaos regardless. So I still think of this as maybe a holding for 1 to 2 days, because if you have no rate hike plus good earnings, then you're well above that 125, 127 strike price that we were talking about a few minutes ago, our target. You're in the 130s there, no problem. But if there's some type of mixed situation there, or even with the puts, if you go in that direction, it'll change so fast within 1 day. So you have to be very, very careful about it. You could have a good earnings report, then a bad, Fed minutes meeting. Boom. Not looking too good, right? Not looking too good. So take care of it, but or take care to trade it well. But I would still be looking for options that expire next Friday, and until if you're playing earnings. If you just want to do day trading, you can buy options that expire Friday. There's still, 4 days left? You have plenty of time. Just don't hold them overnight, I would say, unless you're really feeling ballsy. If you want to do more of a YOLO and an aggressive play, you will instead look to buy something, again, like the 123, 120. No, let's keep it close. Let's go 123, probably 122. I don't know if they have 123 calls, actually, but pretty close options play here. So let's say 123, 122, 124, 125. Options that expire this Friday, or on the flip side, 118, 117 puts that expire this Friday. And then whatever happens, as long as you hedge, you should be pretty good, because there's going to be a lot of volatility in this market based off of what happens. You just don't want to see no rate hikes with bad earnings or good earnings with a rate hike. That's what things are a little bit more choppy for you. But that first initial day of the boost, Thursday, that'll be your opportunity to scale out. If you're good earnings, you can scale out Wednesday morning before the announcement comes, right? And then if the announcement's bad, you still have those puts to kind of make money on the way down. Reverse as well, right? If the market goes down off of bad earnings, you could take those puts home and make some cash off of them. But if there's no rate hike, you'll see Nike kind of skyrocket up a little bit, and you might not make a total big profit, but you might be able to reduce your loss on the investment and or just walk away like breaking even, or maybe a slight profit on it, depending on how much it boosts afterwards. Because Nike's going to follow the overall market. Nike's not something that's like really individual to itself. It's not sneakers, for heaven's sakes. It really depends on what the overall economy is doing. Although I can't remember the last time I went to a Nike store. It's been ages. I have Nike shirts, but they're all like golf shirts, and I don't golf. I just like the style. So I haven't been to Nike in a while. But Nike has a new app, or it was a new app. They have an app that's very, very nice, and I like their app a lot. If you guys ever want to get Nike products and you don't want to go to Macy's or Nordstrom's for them, they have some really good sales on them that I think a lot of you guys would like. Otherwise, just hit up the Nordstrom's rack. I haven't been to Nordstrom's rack in like 4 or 5 years, so I'm pretty sure it's changed since the last time I've been there. I think the last time the store I went to was actually Nordstrom's, but that was in downtown Seattle. I don't like going up there. If you guys want some good Nike stuff, just go to, I think the Nordstrom rack probably sells it, maybe. Macy's might sell it in the clearance sale. I think they do sell in the clearance sale because as one of my college jobs was working at Macy's, and I remember seeing Nike stuff in there. So, you know, you could find some sale items there. There's no reason to pay for Nike full price. Even on the Nike app, don't pay for a full price. Get it out in sale. Then invest the rest of that money into Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Matic or Ethereum or, you know, spy calls. Who knows? Hey, Slick Rick, did I buy Schwab? I bought a lot of banks, but they are like the dippiest of toes into them. So I bought like $1,000 worth of Schwab a while ago. This was last week. This was like last Wednesday or Thursday. Whatever day we came along in the I think no Tuesday. Come along with the news. I think because I was streaming with you guys Monday, so I wasn't able to buy them Monday. I think I bought them Tuesday, pre-market hours, because they were looking a little bit more positive. Tuesday? Let me see. Schwab. Monday. Yeah, I bought them over here. Pre-market, because they were looking okay. Really hasn't made me much money, tell you that. Right? I didn't catch them during the crazy downward day. I didn't catch them there because I was streaming that entire time because the whole market was freaking going insane. But yeah, haven't made any money off of it. I'm still kind of waiting. The most money I've made this year has been obviously from cryptocurrencies and then like some of the Microsoft plays from last year and then the what did I buy? Microsoft. No, not Microsoft. Excuse me. Meta is what I meant to say. Amazon. Yeah, because I loaded up on Amazon with you guys. Let me see. Let's go back over here. I loaded up on Amazon somewhere over here during this last earnings around the $93, $95 range. I mean, now it's back down to 97 and I still haven't sold them. So I guess I haven't made any money off of it so far. All unrealized gains, my $2 to $3 a share. But at one point, the Amazon went up to $114 and I could have sold it. I thought about selling it. I told you guys I was probably going to sell it, but I never did. But, you know, that was pretty good. The AMD one I made was pretty good. I didn't buy AMD at this low point, though. I bought it more over here on 62. I'm probably going to sell AMD, but this market is just like freaking me out too much where I don't want to sell anything. Like right here, again, you see that right there. We just broke above that. That's pretty interesting, but yikes, I don't know. You know, my instinct is to sell everything here, but this is long-term type of thing. So I normally don't just like trade off of a whim. So I'm probably not going to do much here. Nvidia, I bought a bunch of here. The last one was Meta. But I bought Meta again, like I bought it over here. I didn't even buy it at this drop point. I think I bought some over here, but it wasn't even at the bottom. It wasn't even close to the bottom. It was like something more over here on the week when we were dropping like a rock. I wish I would have gotten it down here though. That would have been freaking amazing, right? But I'm not one of those guys that catches the bottom. I'm one of those guys that just kind of catches kind of close to the bottom and kind of sells kind of close to the top, or I sell whenever I feel like it. Like I sold some of my Meta off here. Was this right there? That was like a whole like 2 weeks we were trying to break. I was like, oh, I'll just sell some off, you know, shave some off. Now, of course, we're a lot higher up and we're dealing with this level of resistance now. But again, you know, this is another opportunity to shave some off. This is if you guys are doing some swing trading, though. I primarily swing this because, this is just so volatile, guys. How could you not look at that and be like, okay, I can do something with it? But this was very, very risky because they were investing in the metaverse way, way, way too heavily. Way too heavily. Way, way too heavily. And hey, Monica, thank you for signing up to follow the trades. Tomorrow, I'm going to start doing some trades with them. Or basically, I'll make this frank because I don't want to like say I'm starting to trade yet tomorrow when I might not be. When I get that first change of character, I'll open up my first trade and see how everything works out for it. But when it comes to this, I mean, like, let's go over here. I got $400 in this account. I got $5,000 in the other one. I'll do some day trades on the using a 10x leverage on this one with maybe $50, $20 just to test it out. And then when I get to the copy trading, I'll do the 5x leverage plays with a few $100 in there, and we'll be holding. These are multi-day trades. These are multi-day trades. My only fear though is we're starting off at such a very tumultuous time. I wish we would have started this a few months ago when everything, like all these signals were working out so well. Now we got to worry about banking crisis and stuff. But for me, I might just open up a position tomorrow if we actually break down below the 20 here. That's what I'm looking for. But it would be after, most likely be somewhere after Monica, after this Fed meeting happens. So it'll be later on this week that I probably will like get started in this in earnest. But a lot of you guys have signed up for it, and I'm really glad a lot of you guys have. I'm surprised how many of you guys have signed up for this, so I appreciate it a lot, guys. And so, and I'm glad I was able to get you guys some bonuses, like you guys pay less fees than everybody else on the platform, which I like. Nobody wants to pay fees. Even I have to pay fees to use this, but I don't mind it that much because, what do you call, I got you guys some fees as well. They're also sponsoring the channel. So that means I'm able to get you guys like better stuff. Like all the stuff I've been doing, I've been able to get you guys some better deals, but it's hard to negotiate some of these deals. I think it's because they're not used to it. And so when you actually like ask, like when you go to an exchange and say, hey, cool, you want to sponsor my channel, but like, is there a way you can like have my users have less trading fees than your typical users, so they can say like, hey, I don't have to pay as much as you, yada yada yada. I like to have that as a point of pride, I would say. But again, they all sponsor their channel, so it's not like they're just doing out of the goodness of my heart, and I'm not doing that out of the goodness of my heart. Well, I guess for you guys, good, but I also want cash from them, right? And they get to say they get to have a banner on my stream, and I get to say, hey, I'm using Fairdesk. But yeah, it's pretty much a win-win, I guess. But I really do want to make sure that I'm doing everything by the book for you guys. And I want to make sure that's why I took it like 2 months of negotiation to get you that type of stuff. But I'm excited to see how it all works out, especially because we'll be able to do all the trades, change of character. And what I probably will do as well, I haven't been able to do a lot of the member streams on the weekends like I've been wanting to, because I've been helping my mom because she has to do this heart surgery thing. And I guess I didn't tell you guys this, but like she had a heart attack. So that was something I've been dealing with over the past few weeks. You probably noticed I was much more erratic than normal, besides just having ADHD. So I've been kind of helping her out with that. It wasn't like something that she went to the hospital for. It was one of those things where she had it. She went to the hospital like a few days later, and they were like, hey, did you know you had a heart attack? And so afterwards I was like watching like a hawk. So that type of stuff. So, my days have been busy. But what do you call, now that I'm pretty sure she'll be fine after she goes through surgery she goes to the hospital tomorrow. I'm helping her pack a bag tonight. I'm going over to a place to help her pack her bag tomorrow, but she has to go to the hospital Thursday, stay the night Thursday, surgery on Friday, then stay, I think, until Saturday. And then Saturday, if she's all checked out, they have to like get her off of her warfarin and like a blood thinner medication because she had a stroke recently, or like a year ago now. I think I'll be able to take her home Saturday. But I think I'll have her stay at my grandparents' house, even though I don't talk to them until Sunday or Monday, because I think she'll stay at the hospital Saturday because she has to do dialysis. So there's a whole process here that I know I work out on a normal day-to-day basis here. But the first change of character that I see, I will be implementing that into a trade for you guys, and we'll start off at a $300 level with a 5x leverage, a 3x leverage to start off with. But before you guys do that, I will have to make a video tomorrow for Fairdesk. And when it does the copy trading here, since I'm a copy trader, I'm going to have to do a full tutorial to teach you guys how to set everything up. And I hope I still have access to that basic way, so I can show you guys what to do here, because I want you guys to set your maximum leverage threshold. So if for some reason I ever made a mistake and did like a 10x leverage or a 15x leverage, I doubt I would do it, but if I did, you guys would automatically have your leverage capped, so nothing bad would happen, or your investment amount capped, because I don't want you guys to be liquidated if you guys are following my trading style, but you guys are only trading with like 20 bucks or 50 bucks, right? I don't want you guys to be liquidated like that. To me. So I want you guys to be positioned wisely as far as, because I'm gonna have $5,000 in this account. You guys aren't probably going to be putting $5,000 into this account, I don't think. You guys may be putting anywhere from, like, some of you guys put $1,000 into your account so far. Some of you guys just a few $100 into an account. Some of you guys put like $100 into the account. So, it'll vary here. But yeah, Monica, I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. See, and hey, Tony, Trump is not getting arrested. What do you call, no, but I bought schnapps. I would like some schnapps right now. What do you call, I don't know. Like every time I turn on the news and I see Trump, again, this is the media. I know the mainstream media definitely has a bias. Don't worry. If you type in Trump, I mean, you can just see, what role would Secret Service play in Trump's possible arrest? That's CNN. Of course, CNN is definitely more liberal. But NPR, will Trump get arrested? What we know, stop overthinking it. An indictment would be bad for Trump. Ron DeSantis breaks his silence about possible Trump indictment. DeSantis criticizes New York prosecutor while invoking Trump's alleged porn star, whatever, right? So, I mean, like, it's all over the place. Now, I primarily am not going to be watching the news all too much tomorrow because I'm going to be setting up a lot of stuff for this copy trading, trying to make a few more videos for you guys. I have 2 videos I've already made for this week that are going to be launching tomorrow plus Wednesday. I'm also going to be putting out a few more talks like I did today, streaming a little bit more because of all the rate hike stuff going on. But I'm primarily going to be looking at charts this week because you guys know next week I'm going over to Las Vegas. There's a lot of stuff for me to do in Vegas while I'm there. So I'm gonna be having fun. I'll be going to some meetings, meeting some new people, hanging out with a friend. And I'm not gonna have as much time for the market and work stuff that I normally do. So I'm gonna have to be, doing a lot of this stuff today. So all of you guys have stuff to kind of watch while I'm gone. And I will be streaming while I'm over there, but not, not the chart stream. I'll be like, hey everybody, it's late at night. Hope you guys are doing well. If the hotel has good enough Wi-Fi or my phone has good enough Wi-Fi, I'll be staying at the MGM Hotel for the beginning, 1 at night on Fremont Street because I wanted to stay on Fremont because my friend wants to gamble cheaply. He doesn't want to do the $15 minimum bet at his hotel, so we're gonna find one. And I don't want to do the $15 minimum bet on blackjack either. I don't like to bet high on blackjack. I will bet like $20, $30 a roll on roulette, but not on blackjack. Blackjack just seems to happen so fast, and I am not the best blackjack player. I get lucky on roulette. I don't get lucky on blackjack ever. The only time I get lucky playing blackjack is when I'm playing Red Dead Redemption. That's the God's honest truth. But yeah, as far as Trump, who knows how it's all going to work out. I'm not really paying attention to it too much. Like I hear about it in the news every now and again, but to me, again, it just seems like it's going to be. I'm not so much interested in what happens to Trump as far as what happens to America because they're kind of going so crazy over this. Are they going to be riots, massive protests? What's going to be happening here? Because if you guys know the media is not good at tempering down emotions. They're good at ramping them up. And, when that happens, people get hurt. People feel like they've been abandoned and stuff like that. And at least there was some really bad stuff. And the media is going to do it because they need ratings. You guys know CNN. CNN's ratings are in the tank. They're really, really bad. So, one of my friends that works at I won't say what company, but they had a massive push for Jen Psaki's new show this week. The social media was going crazy over it. A lot of bots out there. But, the media is there to get ratings. And if Trump's indicted, you guys know it's going to be all they talk about. Heck, Trump hasn't been president for like 2 years now, and that's all they talk about. It's just the way it is. Now, I don't know if he's guilty or not. I don't even know really much what the exact law that he broke, but something's going to happen. I don't know what. If they don't arrest him tomorrow, the media will just look like they have, what did the British say? Egg on their face, cake on their face, whatever it's called. Because they've been hyping this thing up for like the past 2 weeks or something like that now. Like 5 years now. But, they've been ramping it up even more over the past 2 weeks. Hey, Sugar on Cheers was the best. I know, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Hey, thoughts on DVN? I'm dollar cost averaging into it right now currently because I still expect energy prices to go back up as we head into the summer. If we see a rate non-hike, so like no rate hike or a rate cut, I do think over the next few months you will see oil rebound very strong, and that's primarily because everybody's going to have a lot more money in their pocket because banks just have so much more liquidity now. You're going to see oil prices start to soar back up a little bit more, and that'll be interesting. I also want to see if the OPEC is going to do anything over the next few days as far as this oil thing is concerned. Because if we go over here very fast, look at the oil prices. I know, Loki, I see you. Over here, let's go over to the daily chart. You can see oil has finally closed down. Before this banking crisis, I was pretty adamant that I thought we were going to stay within this trend for a long time to come, right? And maybe break out towards the end of spring when we started heading for the summer. Nope. Banking crisis just threw that hypothesis out the window, stomped on it, pissed on it, shat on it, whatever. It just kicked out of existence here. Cool for the banking crisis. Yuck for my portfolio, right? So because of that, we did find a nice little stop here around like, $64 or so, but now we got to move it down again to have another support level here, which nobody wants to see. And do we even have we're talking about 2021 lows over here, a little bit of support that we had behind my head, back over here. That's not much to really go off of here, but it's what we have. So then we have to start looking at what's going to be helping out oil prices here. And let's go over here to, OPEC. And do they have any announcements here? Let's see. Oil market report, press room, press releases. see. June 6, okay. This is October, so they haven't really done anything since February here, so they're not really responding to what's been going on the last few days. Let's see, OPEC basket price. I mean, the price of the oil is going down just like everybody else, Went to the 80s and it went to the 70s. Now it's the very low 70s. I mean, yeah, it's going down. It's going down like everybody else. Let's see. It must not be bothering them too much right now. They must feel like it's going to stabilize somehow. News. This is March 17th. Regulatory issues. No, they haven't been talking about it too much. So they're fine with it right now. They must feel like something good is going to happen for the oil prices down the road if they're not going to be doing any adjustments here. But their basket price is at $73.75. That's more than the $67 that we're seeing over here with the U.S. oil. That's more than the U.S. oil. UK oil over here is 73. So it's down, but again, it's not down as, it's not down as much as us. Probably because they're selling it off to Europe, who desperately needs it. Oil production be cut because of banking crisis. Oh, it wouldn't even be because of the banking crisis. It'd be because of the fear of the economy going down. I don't trust CNBC to tell me oil news. No. Al Jazeera. No, it's 2022. It's really weird because every media organization on here has a bent, but it's like which bent is good for the one you're looking for. Okay, there we go. No. Yes, Bloomberg. Bloomberg is pretty good when it comes to oil. Much more liberal on a lot of other stuff, but when it comes to oil, they're good. Oil has been perhaps the biggest collateral victim as the banking drama spread from California to Switzerland. Zoom in here. In recent days, in little more than a week, Brent crude has fallen down by $10 a barrel, or about 15%. The speed and magnitude of the sell-off has some investors asking, where is OPEC Plus? The oil cartel, for now is at least in wait-and-see mode and likely to act until the Federal Reserve concludes its next monetary policy meeting on March 22nd. So, right, everybody's waiting to see what happens here. In the last few hours, the messages I have heard from oil capitals is no panic. Perhaps the group is simply putting on a brave face, buying time for its next need to act. While Brent and West Texas intermediate prices have fallen abruptly, OPEC delegates are still encouraged by what they have described as robust Asian demand. China is on the mend, and India is buying a lot. All right. Let's see. So oil prices down there. Anything else here? No. Let's see. A rosy forecast is based on a big drop in Russian production that is so far has failed to materialize. Moscow pumped 11.4 million barrels a day in January, the most since it invaded Ukraine more than a year ago. Jeez, how is Russia still like doing good? Like that is the freaking like how is Russia just getting better after all this shit? And we're like the West is kind of having this little bit of a drop off on our economies. That like pisses me off. We need to bomb Russia. I don't want to start World War III. I don't mean bomb, but we need to do something else. Whatever we're doing is not really working out too much. Despite the Kremlin announcing a cut from 500,000 barrels a day for this month, having consistently underestimated the strength of Russian production for more than a year, the IEA is again betting on a huge output to drop as the year goes. By the third quarter, it expects Russian output to drop to just 10.1 million barrels, a courageous forecast. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff at play here. DVN, probably something to dollar cost average into, but I wouldn't necessarily say that you want to be buying into that for some type of short-term gain, if that makes sense. A lot of what we're going to see is going to be happening again Wednesday with the rate hike meeting. I'm sorry, I keep on saying Tuesday for the rate hike meeting. It's definitely Wednesday, but I thought today was Tuesday for some reason. See, and hey, Monica, no, they do not have a coin at Fairdesk yet. They have it. They haven't put it live yet. When they do, I will let you know. Trust me, I've asked about it after all the money we made on BitGet together. I will try to find that coin when it comes out. I think so they haven't told me this yet, but what I would assume with any new exchange that puts out, or not the new to the American market, I could say they've been in Asia for a while, but when you have a new coin go out to market, they most likely want to push it out during a more bullish environment. And I think that's what they're doing. I can't say that for a fact, but I think that's what they're trying to do. It's the logical thing to do if you want to try to grow your business, get your coin out there. I think that's the way to do it. But I don't know that for a fact. If I was a marketing guy, which I'm a marketing guy, but if I was their marketing guy, that's probably what I would say if I want the coin's value to go up. When they do, though, I will definitely let you know. Maybe if they let me, this is if people sign up and I get like, good amount of you guys trading on them and you guys like the platform, you guys follow copy trading. If I can prove to them that I have, you guys like the platform enough, I might be able to do whenever they launch, I might be able to do a giveaway for their coin. Perhaps. I think that'd be kind of nice to do. But honestly, I have no idea. No idea if they would be willing to do that yet. I'd have to talk with them a little bit more. Let's see. And hey, Aaron, what's my 1 week, 1 month, 3 month outlook on Bitcoin? There's no way to know that right now based off of all the crazy shit we're talking about as far as the banking crisis. 1 year outlook for Bitcoin at this point, I'd probably say a year from now, what's the March? We're probably around like $40,000, $45,000 minimum. I think the worst of us, depending on how this works out, the worst of this is really going to be settled this year. And it will be bouncing off and we're going on a rocket ship. I think Bitcoin will be stagnating a lot going into 2024, but then eventually we'll kind of rip up and go to all-time highs. But at this point, I would say a year from now, I'm hoping for sometime $40,000, $50,000 range. Hopefully we're well above that, but I would have to say that's probably more likely at this point because I still see that recession hitting our way. And we might have a crypto winter 2.0. That's my real fear. Now, as far as everything else, what are you doing, Loki? Get up. There you go. Here's a treat. There you go. You said 1 month after that. 1 month, if we have a rate hike, I would see 1 month from now, we're probably back around like $20,000. And then if we don't have a rate hike, we're probably still covering around like the high 20s, like where we are right now. I don't really see much change. I would still say we're probably going to be around this level a month from now. Even if we go up, we're probably going to come back down for a retest. Yeah. But I think within that month, we have the possibility to go up to like to $32,000, $33,000. So we have the opportunity to go up to that high. Weekly chart, again, it depends on the hike. Next week, if we have a rate hike, I would say that next week probably up to $29,000 to $30,000 at least, probably $30,000. If we don't have a rate, if we have a rate hike, if we do have a rate, excuse me, I'd probably say just somewhere around $25,000, $24,000. Because most of the technicals out there we're all at major levels of resistance, and Bitcoin is the only thing that really continues to break out. The SPY is close. The SPY isn't close to me. The NASDAQ is very close to a breakout. We're primed to go up as far as the technicals in the stock market are concerned. But if we start failing those levels there, then Bitcoin definitely goes back down to like next week, $26,000, $25,000. It'd be a pretty abrupt drop down. A lot of it though, Aaron, is going to be what do you think about not just the 25 basis points or the no hike coming up Wednesday. It's how dovish or hawkish is he going to be? How dovish or hawkish is going to be when he gives his speech to the press release, I guess you would call it. I think no matter what, though, he's going to be hawkish. So even if he doesn't raise rates, he's going to say in his hawkish way, this is not the end of rates. We are taking a pause. And if the data says we need to rate higher down the road, we are going to do more rate hikes. That is still going to be perceived by the market to be extremely bullish, extremely bullish. That'll be a pain down the road, but in the short term, that still gives us an opportunity to really pop off here. What you want to hear next week is basically, this is a pause. We're going to be, this is a pause looking at the data, and then no rate hike. If he does a rate hike and he says we're gonna pause afterwards, that's still very good news. If he does a rate hike and he says we're still looking at the data that we think the banks can handle it, that's where things start really dropping off of a cliff. And by cliff, I mean assets fall like maybe 4 to 5% over the week. Maybe over the next month, they're down like 5 to 8% over the next month. And I see if it's happy to see you back. I'm doing pretty well, my man. Hi, Mike. Hope you're doing great. Can you check out ZELA stock, XELA? So this is a penny stock. So this is very risky to be trading. I would not be trading this too much. Over time, if you hold this, history is definitely going to tell you this thing is going down, down, down. Now, if you want to be buying this, it has stabilized over a little bit of time, but you basically looking for earnings. Has it had splits? It has had some splits in the past. That's not good either. You know, if you want to trade this, you're not so much looking at the price at this point as what's going on at the company itself. So if you look over here and let's type in, let me just FinViz over here. Oh yeah, you can see the chart right there. It doesn't look too pretty. If we go over here to the website though, it's a $5 million market cap play. This is so tiny. You got to be very, very careful if you want to hop on this. This is something where you just toss in a few bucks, like 20 bucks, 30 bucks, and you try to play around with it. Or you try to do some options on it and you just see what happens, like a yellow $5 options call. Like you don't even have to put $10, $100 into this. You just put a few bucks into this option, you let it sit. But I mean, it's a $5 million, $5.5 million market cap. This is something you want to be very careful with. You're most likely not going to be holding this for the long term, though. I would say 99, 100% sure you're not going to be holding this for the long term. Looks like the director and the executive chairman exercise some options. They haven't sold it any because they're pretty much worthless. But you know they have. Let me see. Yeah, nobody likes this thing, even as from March last year. Nobody likes it. 8% short float, not even really a big enough float to be squeezed. Except the cookies. So they even have COVID-19. They didn't update this website. So what do? Innovative solutions driving business transformation. ZELA's business process automation, BPA software, intelligent workplace systems, and technology. Okay. Business process automation solutions. What's something I'd be looking for here? Logistics is always something that needs to be acquired by the industrial mega titans. Oh, the website's not working properly. Oh, yeah. You can see why the market cap is 5 million. Are they hiring anybody? United States. Talento. Let's let that load for a second. I wonder if this is a real company. It is a real company. Oh, gosh. They must be just taking in. They must just have seed round money going for them at this point because they are not worth anything. As a global publicly company, ZELA is the people behind it. ZELA are just as important as the company itself. Oh, why work there? Not what is it? About us. ZELA is a location agnostic global BPA leader combining industry-specific and multi-industry enterprise software and solutions with decades of experience. Get to know ZELA. I don't want to. That's too loud and it's the corporate spiel. I mean, if you want to do it, you can. I would say this is a long shot, though. This is a pure long shot. What I'd recommend you do here is you go over to their what's the investor relations page. Go down to here and try to find their last filing. 10K Notification that their 10K will be submitted late. Oh, that's not good. If they're just going to be late, oh, well, Jesus. Notification that the 10Q will be submitted. Jesus, what the hell is wrong with these people? Submitted late. Jesus. Where's the last 10K form? We're already right back, March of 2022. 10Q. Quarterly filings. Did I just skip over one? I might have. November. Okay. Quarterly report. Let's go to the last quarter's report. We can live with that. PDF. Unaudited. Oh, Jesus. This is screaming like, be careful. Okay, so current assets. Okay, there's nothing there. Okay. Cash and cash equivalents, 10,401. Restricted cash, 34,000. Accounts receivable. So they got less cash than before, more restricted cash than before. Accounts receivable, that's down a lot. Prepaid expenses, down. Inventories up a little bit. That's good. Prepaid expenses on the current assets. What is this? Down. Liabilities are up. That's not good. Long-term debts are down. That's good. Consumer deposits are up a teeny bit. Accrued interest is up. Oh my God. That's a lot. All right. They paid 56,000 bucks worth of equities, like stocks. People are. I feel bad for those company workers. This is a mess. This is a hot mess. Yeah, losing money, burning through money. They must have some really good seed fundings because, oh my God, the lack of information. Dear freaking Lord. Yeah, I wouldn't be holding this for a long period of time. If you could find a way to learn more about the company, which I don't have time for, I mean, you could definitely do that. Like industries, like maybe they're in the banking industry. Who knows? They got some payments working for them, some stuff to help them out with. But I mean, even this website needs a lot of work. I don't know. Everything about this just seems annoying. You see like stuff is like hanging over each other. It's not like the right way. I don't know. Because like imagine like, so I used to be a marketing guy at a big company out in Alaska. I would be in charge of doing like really big deals. I'd be in charge of asking for more money from the board, increasing my budget, getting approval by the president of the company. I walk the walk and talk the talk. And yet it's not an easy thing to do. And this is with me with ADHD and freaking high anxiety, right? So, you have to find a way to make sure that no matter what somebody kind of goes along and sees your charts, they see something that's good. Or when they look at your company, they see something that's good. So, I see a lot of problems with this. Day trading, having some fun, sure. But I mean, at this point, just going over here to, like, they say they have earnings coming out. Doesn't even say when earnings coming out. The job posting never even loaded. ZELA, Solutions, Industries, Investors. Yeah, they just put out a form the 17th. PDF. They're going to be doing their report late. The company is unable to file the Form 10K within the prescribed time period without reasonable effort or expense because the company requires additional time to complete its financial statement preparation and review process and its assessment of internal control over financial reporting. In particular, in the course of its work to date, the company has experienced unexpected delays in compiling and analyzing supporting documentation related to its annual goodwill impairment analysis and accounting for income tax purposes. See. The company expects that it will disclose its 2022 Form 10K Form 10K. The company's disclosures, controls, and procedures and internal control over finance reporting were not effective as 31K. Material weakness in the company's previously reported but has not fully remedied. Additional material weakness in the internal control over financial reporting. Oh my God. The company expects to report total revenues of $1.8 billion for the year ended December 31st, 2022, compared to the revenues of Say they lost money, yeah. Okay. They don't even tell you when it's actually going to be done. They don't even tell you when it's going to be done. So yeah, that's you want to be careful with this, my guy. You want to be careful with that one. You want to be very, 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 very careful. Very, very, very careful. Okay. Careful. YOLO for sure. Have fun with it, but you don't want to put any of your hard-earned money into that thing and just watch it burn away slowly. That'd be a pain. Treat it as a casino. When you see a penny stock like that, you treat it as a casino and you have some fun with it. But it's not going to be tossed in your main pot. If you guys trade on TD Ameritrade or Schwab or E-Trade, Fidelity, or if you guys like Binance or whatever you guys like, have a Webull account or a Robinhood account for all of your fun stuff. Don't inject all that craziness into your main portfolio out there. Excuse me. And those gamblings can be written off as losses come tax season. Yeah, no worries. I've been happy to help you out, dude. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. I am doing great, my man. Thanks. Oh, and I just checked out ZELA for you. Yeah, no worries, my man. Let's see. Am I waiting on a change of character in the 15 minutes? No, I'm not waiting for the 15 minutes right now because no matter what I do over the next few days, it's just going to be terrible, whatever trade I make based off of what happens on the Federal Reserve rate hikes. What I'm looking for the Fairdesk copy trading is I'm looking for a change of character on the 4-hour or the daily. 4 hours should come before the daily, and that's when I'll make the first trade. 3x leverage with about $200 down, and we'll see how that works out. Then over time, we're going to move it up to an average of $500 on a 5x leverage there. That'll probably be a few months down the road, but I want to get a good track record building this up here, and I want to make sure you guys understand how to set everything set everything up properly. So that's what I'm going to be doing here later on tonight. And so, you know, if you guys want to follow me in copy trading, I'll put the links down below in the description. But I won't be doing it for like a couple more days here until I get that signal. So I don't, you know. And then I'll also be doing the tutorial for you guys later on. The reason I do like it a lot is you guys can log in using Google, so it makes it very, very, very easy. Just make sure you guys have 2-factor authentication turned on, and then on top of that, you know, you guys have a good password. Make sure you guys don't just have like some you know really easy password for your Google account. But 2-factor authentication for anybody that trades crypto, it's kind of a must, especially if you guys can use an authenticator out there as well. But yeah. So, okay, everybody, I'm going to call it a night here. I am pretty beat. It's been a good 2 hours talking with you, 3 hours talking with you guys. Oh my gosh. 3 hours talking with you guys tonight. It's been a very, very long day. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. One more shout out to the sponsor of the stream today, Chart Prime. They have an awesome service if you guys want to go check it out. They basically have the overlays that we've been talking about throughout the stream, and they have some cool, they actually have their own version of Smart Money Pro as well. So if you guys want to look at some support levels, some order blocks on your chart so you guys can see some potential buying and support levels here, this is going to be something I highly recommend to you guys as well. I'll see you guys here tomorrow. Tomorrow, though, I will be streaming for only a short amount of time because Thursday, I plan to be streaming for like 4 to 5 hours out there, okay? Because, Wednesday, because it's just going to be the monstrous day. We're going to be watching a whole bunch of news together, watching on the markets, watch a huge boom or a huge crash in the crypto markets and the stock markets as we kind of figure everything out. But take it easy, guys. A lot of stuff is still going to be happening over the next few days, but take it easy. Don't rush into any trades you guys aren't prepared for. This is going to be a very fun yet crazy, crazy time to be investing. Thanks, everybody. Oh, and Loki also says goodbye. Here you go. You guys can say bye to Loki. Oh, hold on. How do I do this? Just the face. There you go. All right. There you guys go. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks again.